Tick-tock, time
Time
to
to rock.
rock. I was louder than you. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. Your friendly neighborhood philosopher here, D. Wood. I've got the
Also
apostate
known as
prophet with me. The apostate prophet. How you doing, AP?
How am I doing? Does it really matter how I'm doing?
Not really. It's just I'm supposed to ask crap like that, like anyone cares.
That's a good point.
Because you know what's weird? It's like
What?
you have to just say, I'm fine. Because if everything was going terribly and you said it, then people would be like, come on, we don't want to hear this. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm doing fine.
you have to just say fine. If you're actually fine, you have to say fine. But even if everything's going horribly wrong, you have to still say fine. Because other than that, you'd be like, no, look at this, look all this stuff happens. Like, oh, why did I ask? No.
I'm doing absolutely terrible. Good thing you asked. I was looking for to talk about all the problems that I have. Let me start from the very beginning.
D Wood, you're on the wrong side. How dare you say that I'm on the wrong side of theology? I will. I'm assuming
why are
she
you
just
right?
means the wrong side of the screen.
Why are you on the right? What's wrong with you?
How do I switch it?
Good point.
Got to give the people what they want, man.
Good
There we
point.
go. That better?
Good point.
Hey, AP, how's it going, man?
Hey man, what's up? Good. How are you?
You heard of these Catholics who think they can take on the Protestant Orthodox Alliance? No, what did I call it back in the day? the, the Protestant Orthodox Brotherhood Alliance.
Something like that.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
What's up, everybody? What's
Yo,
up,
guys,
everybody?
I was just telling I've been telling AP for a few weeks now. I only ever watched, it was either the first or the second Candace Owens show after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So it was either the first or the second one I watched. I've only watched one. Other than that, I've seen like some clips here and there. But I've only watched one. And I was kind of thinking, well, do I want to really watch a bunch of the stuff and, you know, ever respond to stuff? And it's like, well, she's what she's saying is so insane that maybe people are going to catch on and stop watching, and then like any responses would be kind of like pointless, right? Like, why am I going to start respond? We got Islam to deal with and things like that. Why do we want to focus on Candy? Oh, and maybe she'll just become irrelevant and so on. But nope, not happening. And now we see her at Catholics for Catholics, and she's speaking, and this Carrie Jean, no, Carrie Carrie. Do you know how that's pronounced? Is it it's spelled pre Jean, but is it like pre Jean? Is it some weird
I
pronunciation?
have
And
to
then
listen to
baller
the
at the
song.
end. What?
Carrie Jean is not my lover. She's just a
Carrie
girl.
pre Jean. Dude,
I th-
you got to come up with a song now. You just have to. You just came up with it, man. You just came up with your
uh,
parody.
I'm pretty sure that it's some French thing. It's actually Préjean or something, but people just say Pre-Jean. So who cares?
Weird, wild stuff. Wait, you said it's what?
I think it's French.
Well, if it's French, it could be anything. It could be there's no correspondence.
I think it's Préjean, something like that. But she's an American, so it's just Pre-Jean. Who cares?
Weird stuff. Anyway, guys. So I'm still deciding whether to kind of binge watch all of Candace's, because you have if I watch people a little while, like all their manipulation tactics and so on will start popping out. And learning a manipulation tactic is important for people, because if you learn from someone a manipulation tactic, well, guess what? Then you can spot it in the future. You can see it when someone else is using it and so on. So been thinking about that, and then it was seeing her at the Catholics for Catholics meeting, and I was like, well, let me see where she's at now when she's not talking about, not talking about some deranged conspiracy theory or something like that. But I figured, We just watch it live. So I have not seen any of this. Only thing I did was I cut the Candace and the Carrie, and then there was music before. There was a music intro to each one of them, and I cut those out. So that's what I did. Have not seen any of this. So we're gonna check that out. We're gonna check that out. But here's the issue, guys. Here's the issue. We were just I was on a live stream earlier with Jai and Chris from Speaker's Corner, and one of the questions at the beginning from someone in the chat was he was just saying, like, he finds it difficult not to just completely hate Muslims. And so we were talking about, how do you deal with that? Because guess what? There's some perfectly nice Muslims in the world and so on. And, so we're kind of talking about certain things. And I was pointing out, I always have a little bit of help, because whenever someone is annoying the crap out of me, it's always built into my head I've done way worse, and therefore, okay, how angry can I actually get when I've done worse than a lot of people I would get annoyed at? So there's that. And then I pointed out that, you can actually view them as victims of the ideology, right? Like, they're programmed all their lives to believe in this, and programmed all their lives that the greatest thing you can do is be like Muhammad. And so, someone's programmed just imagine, wait, what's an example here? Patty Hearst, right? Patty Hearst, I think she was the one who was kidnapped, but then she joined the group, and then she went like I don't know, robbed a bank or something like that. Anyway, but then they concluded that she had like Stockholm syndrome and so on. And so you think, okay, well, she had Stockholm syndrome, and doesn't mean that what you did is okay. It means, okay, so someone else is partly responsible for what you're doing. And so I was pointing out that if you're really enraged at the way certain people are acting, then look to the source. And the source would be Muhammad and the Quran for a lot of evil, screwed up stuff in the world. So don't get mad at the people you can get mad at the people based on what they're doing and stuff, but direct it towards the source of the bad behavior and start going after Muhammad and the Quran. But was also pointed out that, I think Jai said this. It was either Chris or Jai. I think it was Jai. But Jai pointed out, he said, also, don't think that the people who are coming at you on X or something like that represent everyone. You get a skewed view. And I was thinking of that in terms of like everyone. It's lots of normal people. If they were on X and saw all this stuff, they'd be like, I'm getting out of this. I'm staying away from this nonsense. This is toxic, man. This is a toxic environment. But it's only a couple different kinds of people who will actually like stay with all that, stay through all that stuff. It's people who have certain, people who want to constantly be arguing and talking about the latest thing and flipping out over whatever they're supposed to be flipping out about that day. And anyway, the point is, those kinds of people are not representative of all people in the world. And so anyway, I was thinking of that in connection with the Catholic Church and so on, because we see people responding to Candace Owens, and that's kind of difficult because the moment you say anything, you get a bunch of insane fans coming after you.
You're not as smart as Candace Owens. Candace Owens has it all figured out. She's the most intelligent woman on the planet. How could you say anything? She's the greatest person in the world. That's why she's going to be the next pope.
Anyway, but I was thinking about it in that context, and I was thinking, suppose you don't know anything and you're just like thinking about what the Catholic Church is, or what Catholicism is, or what Catholics are like, and you're basing it on X. And you'd be like, whoa, this is like really screwed up. When you have tons of people who can't stand. No, I'm not just talking about Candace Owens, guys. This is an example of a bigger issue that we're seeing a little narrow group of certain personality types. As far as no matter what the group is, you're seeing a certain kind of people and stuff. But if those are the only people you're seeing, you're getting a skewed view of things. Anyway, wanted to check out Candace's speech and see where she's at. Then I'm going to decide whether to go through all or whether to go, because that's kind of I've heard I'm going to lose some brain cells and that my brain is going to be completely mush if I watch all of it. If I sit there and watch like 80 hours of Candace Owens talking about Charlie Kirk and the latest theory, I've heard that my brain is going to turn into jello,
Yeah,
basically.
that happened to me. That happened to me. So I want to say a few things about. So we're watching footage from the Catholics for Catholics thing, right?
Have you seen
That's
this?
where they. I haven't seen it, but
You're about
there are
to,
just
buddy.
there are a few things that I want to say about that. So people might not know. People generally might not understand this, but Catholics for Catholics seems like it's an organization of Catholics. Interesting. Wow. So it's basically what represents the Catholic Church, or it represents Catholics around the world. It is actually a movement or an organization that is a fringe organization that is actually in opposition to the mainstream or to the actual Roman Catholic Church. So the group is known to be led by people who were who got into certain controversies or who directly got kicked out from their positions as bishop, for example, by the Pope himself. They cite one bishop here, Bishop Strickland, something. He's for example a very controversial one, who after many complaints from his congregations and from people interacting with him, um, had to have a direct interference from the Vatican itself, which happens very rarely. So, a direct interference from the Vatican, led by the Pope, Pope Francis himself. Pope Francis had to go there to his jurisdiction in Texas and had to interfere and look into what is going on here in this diocese. And so they found that that this diocese seems to be just doing their own thing, and also internally being like very hostile to the Catholic Church in general and to the Pope and all that. So they had this bishop removed, and this bishop is now a hero of this movement, Catholics for Catholics. So in many of their positions, if you go on their website, Catholics for Catholics, what's it called? Catholics for Catholics. I don't want to advertise it, but
Pretty
just Google
creative name too.
c4c.com.
I'm gonna make a website called David Wood for davidwood.com. It's all
When you
about
go on their
me,
website,
buddies. Huh?
when you go on their website and you look into what their mission is about and what their publications are, you will see that they have a very hostile attitude toward the church itself, which is kind of a funny thing, considering the structure of Catholicism, where you are bound to the church and follow the church and all that, and they're very they're constantly critiquing the church itself and basically talking about how we have to restore proper Catholicism and things like that. So it's like a hyper traditionalist, anti mainstream, supposedly Catholic thing that tries to just take the name Catholic and then um, attack the Catholic leadership internally and change it from within. It's basically a hub, a network, from what I see, of people who are rejected in the Catholic Church and people who reject and want to change things within the Catholic Church, who even deny the authority of the Pope while calling themselves Catholics and stuff like that. Many of their leaders and members are known, for example, for their explicit. Big surprise here, anti-Semitism. Like one of their leaders
Wait a
promotes
minute. Some of these
the idea that
people are anti-Semitic.
yeah, one of their heroes, which they cite on the website. Look, I go on their website, I go on the about section, our mission. They quote three people here on that page. One is Bishop Joseph Strickland, the one I just mentioned. One is Michael Flynn, a retired army guy, who is specifically known to have been very controversial, who also argued that JFK warned us against the Khazarian mafia. It's like, dude, the mafia of Khazars, by which he's referring to the nonsensical debunked conspiracy theory that Ashkenazi Jews are actually Khazar Turkic people, and I know who fake their identity and stuff like that. It's a completely messed up movement and organization that is in no way representative of Roman Catholicism, but they do a very nice trick of calling themselves Catholics for Catholics to basically hijack the name Catholicism.
Who's the
And
third
then
one?
the third one is some other guy. I don't know anything about him.
Okay, we should have just said there were two.
Harold Ziegler or something like that. Yeah. So it's a people should know that this is not a movement that is in any way representative of mainstream Catholicism or the Vatican, but rather a fringe movement that is actually, not considered good. It's fun.
Now, Nick Fuentes, he's Catholic, not Orthodox, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not your best buddy. But guys, again, this is an example of something that seems bigger, and we can kind of start getting an idea of what it's like for for Muslims who are just like living normal lives and aren't obsessed with taking over the world and all this stuff. And how does it? What's it like when their representatives are, whether they like it or not, are Mohammed Hijab and Ali Dawa and Sheikh Uthman and Daniel Hakikachu and stuff? It's like, seriously, that's what. No, sadly, these guys are correct on a lot of issues with Islam. So this does go back to Islam. But anyway, the one of the big issues that I see is people are going to see every different group as the people screaming at them on X who are affiliated with that group, and the impression people are going to get is that's what the group is like. I really can't stand these people, therefore I really can't stand the group, and everyone becomes more split up and more divided and attacking each other more and more hostile, and then civilization breaks down. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works. So anyway, we're going to stay on top of this, guys. We're going to stay on top of this, but we're going to check this out. I'm going to see what Candace has to say, and then we'll listen to as much of Carrie, Jean, whatever, as we can stand. But we'll check it out. All right, we'll take this first batch of super chats, guys, and then we'll jump it. Matter of fact, before we do, let me just point out. Going to check out a clip from Candace Owens back in the day. And you can think to yourself, this is the woman that Catholics for Catholics wanted speaking. Here she is.
Do you think it's normal, by the way, that basically every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed? like literally, you start speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not fucking normal. Excuse my language, but that is not normal.
I agree.
Okay, it's not normal.
Hey, AP, you know what else is weird? Of all the people who constantly scream about Jews and Israel, how many of these guys are getting assassinated?
I have a better question. Can any of these people who say, "Oh, if you talk about Israel, you're gonna get killed," and all that, can anyone actually show me one single evidence, one single incident, where it has been proven beyond reasonable doubt, and not just through your dumb conspiracy theories, that Israel actually took somebody out for speaking against them? Can you just name one single incident? One single incident where it's not you making some dumb claims and then we have to dig through them and have a debate about it to analyze how dumb your conspiracy theories are. But one single incident where it actually has been demonstrated. Just one name, one single one. I can tell you the answer. There is not a single one here.
And so you have to wonder, do they really believe it? Do they believe they're all on the verge of being assassinated at any moment? I mean, Nick Fuentes eventually got doxxed and people showed up to his house, but it was like leftists who were mad that he said something about women. And it's like, and then remember last year when Candace Owens, she went on this big thing. She was posting all this stuff saying that it's been verified by all these government organizations that there's this plot to assassinate her and it's been set in motion. And why is no one protecting her and stuff? And it's all the end. And then she disappeared and turned out she went to Dollywood and was hanging out, taking pictures and stuff. Then she came back and just moved on. And like somehow all the assassins gave up. This international conspiracy of assassins to assassinate Candace Owens, well-funded, and they were ready to do. All of a sudden, it just disappeared. And it's just like, how serious are we supposed to take this stuff? Anyway, she's pointing out that's not normal that every time you mention Israel, you have to say, I don't want to die.
That people have to think about their security because, and by the way, some of it, then the way that you get comfortable with it is you're like, well, they shot JFK in an open car. So
So the way a complete idiot conspiracy lunatic would comfort herself if she thinks I'm about to die is to think, well, they got JFK and there was nothing they could do to stop it, so I'm just going to die. And here she is a couple years after this.
There's not, I mean, he's a sitting president. I mean, obviously my security doesn't really matter. If they want me, they're going to get me. That's not a normal thought process to have. We don't have that about any other country in the world except for the one that, took over ours. And that's the truth. Okay. We are an occupied nation.
And they assassinate everyone. It doesn't matter. Presidents, anyone. They're assassinating everyone. And, yeah, so sad. So sad for all the critics of Israel. They're just being assassinated left and right. Can't say a word.
As you can see, they disappear all the time. Like they're getting killed left and right. All the critics of Israel. This is why you don't see any criticism of Israel on the internet, because every critic of Israel always gets killed. Clear.
And what's amazing is, again, Nick Fuentes got doxxed. Imagine someone had actually shown up. It was just leftists screaming, I can't believe you said that about women, and ends him or something like that. What would every one of these people said? It was actually Israel's Mossad. It was framed. And if that had happened to Nick, guess what? That would be Candace Owens' next 75 episodes, as she tried to get to who really, really did that. Wild stuff. Here we go. A few more seconds.
And if it's going to take women like having to speak up and say that to make permission, like to give permission to men to do the same, then I'm happy to be the first person. Okay. I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists. Like 1000% blame the Zionists. Like let that be my parting word.
I'm going to make one thing clear here. I want to make one thing clear here. I'm not somebody who would actually hurt himself. So if anything happens to me, everybody should know it was Candace Owens.
It was definitely Candace Owens.
Who else could it be? If something happens to me, it was definitely Candace Owens. It was most definitely her. She said my name on her podcast. She interacted with me before. She blocked me when I challenged her. It's clearly her. She tries to silence me, and the last thing she will resort to is to kill me. It was definitely her.
Obviously. But think about how insane this is, right? So if Candace Owens, something were to happen to Candace Owens, 100%, really, Candace Owens has never ticked off anybody else. She hasn't upset anybody else. No. If Nick Fuentes died, what would the explanation be? Well, it's obviously Israel. Really, Nick Fuentes hasn't annoyed anybody else who ever might want to do anything, right? No, by the way, guys, notice the thinking there. If something happens, it has to be this group. It has to be this group. Okay. Well, then what happens when someone like Charlie Kirk gets killed or something like that? We know who's ultimately got to be behind it, right? Obviously. So anyway, guys, that's what we got going on here. Anyway, check out see that clip right there when it's women who have to stand up, and now it's her and Carrie Prejean and everyone leading the charge at Catholics for Catholics. So we're going to check this out. Let's take these first super chats and we'll jump into the video.
Are we going to we should also have a look maybe at the we looked at it yesterday, but at the post by the Bishop Barron, who responded to Billie Jean on Twitter. That would be very nice to see the Catholic perspective actually laid out.
Yeah, send me the link and we will refer to that. Tim Talk, I'm on time. God bless you both.
God bless y'all.
Candace Owens grew up unchurched, fell in love with a white British ultra-trad Catholic who's anti-Semitic and was brainwashed by him. She's cosplaying. I don't know enough about her dork husband.
I do a little bit, but yeah, let's just leave it at that.
What are the cat licking cat humans? What the heck is wrong with people, man? One of AP's fans showing up. Trying to cause a rift here. Carrie Prejean Bowler was a hedonist who became an evangelical Christian, then became an ultra-trad Catholic in the worst way. It's pretty terrible, guys. Pretty terrible.
She converted to Catholicism 5 months ago, and she's acting like she's the Pope. Mm-hmm. She's acting like she can tell Catholics what Catholicism actually is. She actually starts arguing with the bishop himself, one of the most renowned, most respected bishops around, and tries to actually have a debate with him about what Catholicism is and how Catholicism should be. It's like, what can you really say, man?
Catholic here, interested to see what is going to be brought up. Me too, because again, haven't seen it yet. But we're about to. These people make Mike Winger look like Paul. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Just watched the Jewel of the Nile movie, and Danny DeVito's character was made an honorary Sufi at the end and said, Sufis rule, thought of Isa. Hey, that's funny. I saw that when I was a kid, but I didn't remember that, and I don't even think I knew what Islam was back then. I only watched it because it was a sequel to Romancing the Stone. Well, I thought it was a sequel to Romancing the Stone. It was not connected. I was just completely wrong. And it was an inferior movie. Two things can be true at once. Charlie was possibly knocked off on purpose, and Candace is a loony grifter with no credibility. Latter is confirmed. No, Candace is very strong and based, and everyone's jealous of her.
Yeah, Charlie was indeed. Charlie was killed by a lunatic.
No one's disputing that Charlie Kirk was killed.
By a lunatic, leftist, furry-loving, trans-loving crazy bastard who needs to face justice. And Candace Owens and others who spread conspiracy theories that are completely baseless are basically just doing the job of covering for that crazy bastard.
Yeah, I wish they'd hurry up with that trial just so all the evidence can be on the table, and then the jury can make up their mind, and then the rest of the public hopefully will be better.
You know what the funny thing is? The Charlie Kirk side is trying to push to make everything as transparent and open and public as possible, whereas the murderer's side is trying to repeatedly ask for privacy.
And there's a reason for that, right? Yeah. There's a reason for that. If you know everyone out there is spreading deranged conspiracy theories, suppose you know you did it, right? You know you did it. You know your client did it, whatever. But there are people spreading deranged conspiracy theories all over the place. And suppose you know that at trial, the evidence is going to be overwhelming. Do you want the public to know all that information? No. You want the conspiracy theories to continue because all you need is one juror. You need to convince one out of 12 jurors that there's some other reasonable explanation other than this guy.
And
no
Candace
conviction.
Is the
no conviction.
Doing their job for them.
Mm-hmm. Do Candace or Carrie volunteer at Soup Kitchen? How would we know?
Hey, I just sent you an email with the link to the bishop's thing.
We'll check it out. Man, a lot of these comments are following Dawa-level Protestants. There are no Dawa-level Protestants. Protestants are based. Can you give me a quick summary of how Malik Gate ended? Oh, hi, D1 AP. Malik Gate didn't end. Malik Gate didn't end. Malik Gate doesn't end until I say it ended. And we're just waiting for Malik to start up again because we know he can't. We know he's a narcissist and he can't stop talking. So don't worry. He'll be back very soon. Very, very soon, I predict. I noticed that some Christians are too tolerant. You can't tolerate harmful ideas. You'll end up being consumed by them. That's just my opinion.
True.
No, that is true. And that's kind of a product of Western civilization. You know, you go back in the day, people would kill each other over disagreements and stuff. And if you want a big society that where people aren't killing each other, you have to kind of, okay, we're not going to fight over everything. And then, but that can go too far to where you don't oppose anything. Owens and Bowler are to Catholicism what Jim Baker, Jimmy Swaggart, Ted Haggerty, Peter Popoff, Kenneth Copeland, Jerry Falwell Jr. are to evangelicals. So you're saying they're super cool? Wanted to say this yesterday. What Netanyahu said about good versus evil was essentially the motivation and logic behind the Crusades. Don't be doormat Christians and let people walk all over you. Yeah, I mentioned the book that he was quoting. He's quoting a different passage, but in the same book, Durant uses the Islamic invasion of Europe and Charles Martel stopping him and so on as an example of exactly what he's saying. He's saying it's not the goodness or niceness or anything else that stops an invading army. It's someone actually making them stop. That's it. That's the only thing that works. He says that's the only thing history shows actually works in stopping people like that. And somehow that was, how dare you say that Genghis Khan would beat the crap out of Jesus? I find that in order to not hate Muslims, think about how they are not Mike Winger. Yeah, that's a good idea. Think about how they are not Mike Winger and the love for humanity is restored. This is me saying sorry. Okay, that's a good point. Fair point. Fair point. No one ban Aussie Abe now. What?
If everyone was more like Mike Winger, the world would be a better place.
Come on, dude. Everyone, you notice how he had to put the sunglasses on to conceal the fact that he's just saying the stupidest thing he can and trying not to laugh. Strickland also condemned Roman Catholic moves to be more LGBT inclusive. They're right on a few points and wrong on others, like many movements are. We're going to find out, guys. Our view of the Catholic Church will be decided during this live stream based on the speeches of Candace Owens and Carrie Prejean, what's her face? Yes, deep dive on manipulation. Believers need this. I've been thinking for years, it's like, it needs to be fundamental, man. It needs to be fundamental that everyone needs to learn at least the main manipulation tactics, because you're being drowned in them. You're being drowned in them right now.
Hey, Captain Bertuzzi, Captain Christianity, what's up, man? I didn't see that.
Hey, Cameron. Yeah. Is he here? Is he in the chat?
He was here earlier, and he said something like, "Can somebody explain how Candace represents the Catholic Church?"
Yeah,
that's actually.
David Cameron, get used to it. Your new Pope, Candace Owens, is your leader. Get used to it.
David is doing rage bait titles here for you, Cameron.
I should put Cameron in the thumbnail after we're done. Like have him looking up dreamily at Candace Owens. I've been reliably told just today by a Catholic that Israel's aggression goes against just war doctrine, and that this demonstrates how Israel's war isn't compatible with Christian morals. You could lay out the criteria for what's considered a just war, and then you'd have to you would argue that it doesn't meet the requirements. You could do that.
You would really have to
things like proportionality and things like that.
You would really have to argue that point strictly. I mean, I just read about that about just war theory very recently because I was preparing for a debate on the topic or something related. And I don't see how it would be incompatible unless you want to take the perspective that, according to the International Declaration of Human Rights and the modern progressives, their retaliations and preventations of things in Gaza are somehow genocidal and out of proportion. I don't see how it would go against it at all. It's nonsense. I mean, I'm open to having that discussion, but
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having that discussion either. Kind of laying out the criteria and so on. I think what it would come down to is basically like what you're up against and what you're responding to, and you'd have to point out that if someone is like their entire civilization, if you can call it that, is hell-bent on destroying you. We'd have to think about it, go through the criteria, but it might be what you're allowed to do in response might increase. But yeah, we could go through that someday. Might be interesting. Darth Vader, D. Wood, you're on the wrong side. Join me and we can rule the galaxy together. It works better with an empty cup. What?
It's also kind of funny. Like just war theory is just a theory that is developed, by certain people. I'm not sure why we should take that as like a universal set of rules that are like, no, this is what we have to abide by. It's literally just.
Yeah, but notice he was saying it wouldn't line up with like Christian just war theory. So it's just war theory is largely a product of Christianity. You have some others and stuff, but it was basically recognizing that there are times for war where it's like required, but here, as Christians, we're supposed to be loving even our enemies and stuff. And how do we balance all this stuff? And they came up with just war theory, meaning you don't just do anything you want in a war.
I know, but that's what I mean. You have the laid out by St. Augustine and Aquinas and all that, and shaped in throughout the ages. But why would it be? Why is it considered like? Why do some people consider it like this is the rule? This is how we do things. This is binding, basically. I, it's
No, again,
I mean, it's a theory that rests on certain biblical
yeah.
things, right? But it is simply a theory that is developed based on biblical teachings. It's not really this is the rule and that's it. You know.
You are correct. So there would be two things there. It would be, is this more or less an accurate view of how you should think of war and justification for war as a Christian? Because keep in mind, you have Christians who are complete pacifists who will not fight at all and don't believe in fighting at all. So you have situations like that and so on. So anyway, you'll always have Christians who disagree, but overall, does it look correct from a Christian perspective? Then you'd have to ask, okay, what about people who don't have a Christian perspective? So one, is it correct? Two, did that war, meet those requirements or not? And three, even if it doesn't, well, why should that bother like non-Christians or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out. So Apu Packer says, funny how ultra-Orthodox and hyper-trad Catholics both are anti-Semitic, but they both hate each other. I find that hilarious. Neither do works of mercy. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, is that why you're asking if they go to a soup kitchen?
The use of the word ultra-Orthodox is very confusing here, but yeah, I guess I understand what you mean.
I said it's not, dang it.
I do want to make a distinction here, very, very clearly. I mean, it's kind of like, when you describe those as what did they say, ultra-Orthodox and something Catholics? I mean, it's when you describe them from the outside, you are referring to certain politically extreme people in the Catholic Church and in the Orthodox Church and all that. But I would just look at what you wrote and think of somebody who is extremely Orthodox or very Catholic as somebody who is very devout in the faith and somebody who's all about it. And those people are generally wonderful and don't fit the criteria and don't fit the description that you put there at all. I would say always good to take into consideration when you talk about these groups and these people that you're talking about a specific faction of those people or specific trends or specific, currents within those groups and not just about the very religious ones.
We have David. What do you think of Junior quitting? Sucks. Everyone else had given up. Junior was the last man standing. He was going to be the Dai of the future. Now he's given up, and now there's nobody. So we have nothing left to do. Here we have Cameron saying, Capturing Catholicism is a new channel we just started. Well, why are you posting from Capturing Christianity and not from Capturing Catholicism? That's one question. Two, Catholicism has already been captured by Candace Owens. So I hope that's a Candace channel. A couple more. Nicole Arbor published details how Candace tried to get her killed with 100% proof. Wild, huh? When's that? Is that recent? I've never heard of that. No Soup for Knowles retweeted the short version. Hey, if that actually happened, AP, you might want to cover that, man. Super based. Candace tried to get me killed. Here's 100% proof. Egypt, France is... Why? Why would she even... Nicole Arbor, she on... I've seen the name a bunch of times. She on YouTube? I think so. YouTube or X or something.
The name sounds familiar.
I've seen the name a ton of times. I think she's like blonde-haired white lady. Egypt, France, Israel. She's a real G.I. Joe. There's no taking her down. Lol. Oh, yeah. You can't. You can never refute the theory if the theory involves everyone. Let's see. Guys, listen. It's not Israel. It's Israel. We know that. Yeah, we know.
Israel.
We're deliberately pronouncing it wrong because most people pronounce it wrong. They don't go with the authentic Candace Owens pronunciation. What's funny is not even Tyler Robinson's lawyers are taking Candace's conspiracies seriously. Yeah, like, can you imagine if the lawyer just went in there and just started putting out all of Candace Owens? I mean, think if the legal defense, I hadn't even thought of that, but if their defense actually thought any of this, any insane Candace conspiracy had anything to do with reality, what Why wouldn't they be doing that in court? And did you know the French Foreign Legion was meeting with these Egyptian planes, and then there's these beekeeper cult, and
hey, she seems kind of funny.
What?
This Nicole Arbor seems kind of funny. I think it's a parody or something. I gotta check it out.
It was a sequel to Romancing the Stone, actually. No, it wasn't.
She's a comedian.
Was it? I thought it just had the same actors in it. I'm gonna investigate that. Was the wrong angle? It wasn't him, sadly. Shot was the wrong angle. It wasn't him, sadly. Okay, well, you say so, so we know it's true. Someone in the chat said it. Candace said when she converted how weird it was that no one was saved until the 1500s, and that was the deciding factor for her to leave Protestantism. I've never heard a Protestant actually say that. The woman speaks lies and only speaks by lying. Then we have, wait, so now God has a mother. What a way to give Islam more ways to ridicule the gospel. Guys, Israel was punished for idolatry. Stop. That's a good point, AP. Nicole was a YouTuber that was on Candace shows, including when she was on Daily Wire. Candace kicked her out for criticizing her, then tried to get her. We're gonna take a look at it. That's interesting if that happened. Then thoughts on Hakikachu getting ratioed by Pakistanis for saying Pakistan is the Israel of the region. Oh, that would actually make sense because Daniel's a big Afghanistan fan, man. Daniel's a big Afghanistan fan, and I think he's a big Iran fan. Did not know that, man. Did not know that. And last one, Yosef from Israel Advocacy Movement has a video where he reads the Torah to Muslims, and they think it's the Quran. There was a dude, I forget which country, maybe Egypt or something like that, but someone wrote a Christian version of the Quran to meet the Quran's challenge of producing something like it. So they wrote basically a Christian book that sounds exactly like the Quran. And it's called The True Furqan. And anyway, there was a guy who would get up and read it on buses and stuff like that. As the buses are going around, he would just stand up on the bus and start reading from the True Furqan. And every single time, Muslims would be thanking him for reading the Quran to them. They'd get off the bus. Thank you for reading the Quran and enlightening our day, brother. It was totally a different book. They couldn't tell. They couldn't tell the difference. Weird stuff. All right, AP, you ready to get into some powerful speeches?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we have not seen this speech from Candace Owens, so this will be new for us. Maybe it's new for you, or maybe you've seen it, but be prepared to have your mind blown no matter what.
Hey, did you skip the super chat? What was it? Or did you just read that?
What?
From Van Derman. Wait, so now God has a mother?
Yeah.
What a way to keep Islam.
Yeah, and I threw it in your face, and you wouldn't even respond, man. You wouldn't even respond. You're like, that was so powerful, I'm speechless.
Is this supposed to be a serious comment, or is this just trolling? I don't understand.
What do you mean? He's telling you to
wait. So now God has a mother. This was the prevalent Christian belief from the very beginning, forever. What do you mean now? This was well established ages ago, over 1,000 years ago, or more than 1,000 years ago.
You heard it here, folks.
The majority of Protestants believe the same thing. All Orthodox believe the same thing. All Catholics believe the same thing. What are you talking about? If you believe that, I'm not going to have a theological discussion here, but if you believe that Jesus is from the very beginning fully divine and fully man, then you believe that he is God when he is born, and that his mother is therefore the mother of God as well, or the mother of his divine nature, or the mother of the divine Jesus, right? Not that he's different or anything, but he is the mother of God, right? So it's like this is not something new or something weird or something controversial. This has been around forever and very, very well established.
You all heard it here, everyone. Muslims can clip this. AP says that God was born and that he had a mother.
Yeah.
Last one. Hi, David. Thank you for pointing so many people to Jesus. I'm not sure if you typically do this, but I emailed you asking biblical advice on something. If that's cool, I think you'd be a great person to help. Yeah, when people think who's great at helping other people, they think of D. Wood. D was good. No, I'll check it out though. I'll check it out. I hope. I haven't checked my email today, so if it's something you sent like a week ago or something like that, I probably missed it. So you might want to send it again. If you send it today, then I'll see it when I check my email. And so, stop the Mike Winger slander before I challenge you to a lightsaber duel. Oh yeah, do you even mubahala, bro? Ask Mike Winger why he doesn't mubahala, because he knows what had happened. All right, here we go. Candace Owens. There's an intro first. But I wanted to see what this guy has to say.
Next up.
Oh, just so you know, the audio's a little weird. They were like clipping. They're like clipping a little bit. So the audio is not on this end. It's just a little clipping.
She is one of the most influential voices in America and host of the top-ranking show on the internet. She is the co-founder of Blexit, author of the New York Times bestseller Blackout and Making the Sandwich. She has produced and starred.
Hey, in your face, Abu Bakr al-Puff Daddy. You said they don't do any works of service, and here she is encouraging people to make encouraging women to make their husbands a sandwich. So you're wrong. Have to give credit where it's due.
In major documentaries, including The Greatest Lie Ever Sold. She's appeared before Congress twice, spoken worldwide, built a social media following in the tens of millions, and I think what she would arguably say is her proudest achievement. She's a married mother of 4 and a proud convert to the Catholic faith.
Oh, I wasn't sure which documentary that was, but that was the George Floyd documentary. I watched it, and it sucked until like the last third. And then it was actually important stuff. But the first 2/3 were like trash.
And if I'm not mistaken, just 3 days ago, she hit, once again, #1 as the largest, most followed podcaster in the entire world.
Bravo! So you know she's right about anything.
On a personal level, she is someone who have the privilege of calling not only her but her husband, George, a friend. And let me tell you something. If you ever have to go into battle, that couple is one you want in your trench. And I've experienced that firsthand these past few weeks.
But I don't want...
It's an honor for me.
I don't want to be trafficked. I don't want to be, I don't want to get into any shady business. I don't want my kids to be trafficked. Why would I want them with me? Especially in such a risky situation, in such risky circumstances. I also don't want to walk around with people with a woman who doesn't understand how lightning and thunder are connected. She just recently found out that thunder is actually the sound that lightning makes. Her mind was blown by that. What kind of help would
I
these
found
people
out
even
that
need?
thunder is the sound of lightning, and right before that, it was she was tweeting, she was posting. No, I think she made a video, didn't she? But she was saying, "Guys, I looked at the temperature, and it's 31 degrees, and the ice is not melting. What is this? I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before." And then everyone responded, "Yeah." Ice melts at 32 degrees. She clearly was confusing Celsius and Fahrenheit, and she thought 0 degrees is when. And this is at 31 degrees. How's this possible? But what was funny was everyone pointed out what an idiot she was, and she didn't know the temperature that where water freezes or water melts. And so they pointed it out. Yeah. And then when she responded, she's like, "Oh, well, as you know, that even though there's the overall temperature, it varies a little bit from place to place. And so it should be melting in some places where it's slightly warm." That's what I was saying. It's like, that was not what you were saying, you lying idiot.
She clearly pointed out that the temperature is so and so, and there's still ice, and this is weird and all that. That's what she said.
It's really weird, but it was like some the way she was putting it was like almost like it was some Jewish conspiracy to make the ice not melt.
But this guy is like, huh? This is the dorkiest thing I've heard, man. Like, this is so cringe.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pee Wee Herman.
If you went to battle, and you have this couple with you would be very like,
what is this? If Francis steals your bike, these are the people you want on your side to help you get it back out of the basement at the Alamo. Candace Owens. And if you don't believe she can have your back and get you out the hook, just look at what she did for Andrew Tate. She helped him completely lie.
It sounds like a little kid who is trying to sound cool and like talking about these tough things, you know?
Yeah, and that's not cringe at all, guys. This is the no cringe zone. Check out my American flags. Like wings of an angel, that's what I am. P-E-E W-E-E Herman.
And I encourage you to give a warm welcome to the one and only Candace Owens.
So there's a big musical intro and like montage and stuff. I cut that out because I don't know what's up with the music. What?
I think this guy is the CEO of the organization. Are you freaking serious, man?
That dork is who you got as your CEO?
I think this guy is John Yep, and he's the CEO of the organization.
His name is Yep. Yeah, because he's like, what did Candace say? Yep. What did Carrie say? Yep. Yep. He's a Yep man.
Oh, gosh.
Pee Wee Yep. All right, so that's the intro. Now we've got Candace Owens about to blow the roof off this place.
Hello, thank you guys. Please be seated. And yes, I broke my foot. First time I've ever broken a bone in my body just ahead of this event.
And some people are bringing up, and I've even seen some bringing it up in the chat, and there's even a super chat on this. Kind of mysterious, isn't it, that Candace mysteriously broke her foot when all she does is sit in a room reading off a prompter, apparently, right when her husband comes out with a black eye. Did Candace Owens break her foot on her husband's face? That should be. we need to like be doing live streams on this. I actually thought about calling it that, man. Instead, I went with this because we're watching the Catholics for Catholics thing. But I thought about calling it, did Candace Owens break her foot on her husband's face? And just have pictures of them up there.
On Friday the 13th, no less. It's just amazing. So much. I consider that to be just kind of an analogy for my entire experience being a Catholic. You're in the middle of Lent. I'm already giving up breakfast and lunch and meat on Fridays. And then it's, how about your right foot? How about walking for the rest of Lent? And it's so funny. I kind of reflect on my Catholic journey and being baptized. I guess it's been 3 years now. I got baptized.
Wait, is this the speech that Milk Bar cut up and counted up how many references to herself?
No,
and how many references?
That was a previous speech. That was
a different one. He counted up how many times she refers to herself and how many times she mentions God at this prayer thing. And she was in the hundreds for herself, and I think 15 times she mentioned God or something.
It's 3 years ago, and I remember for whatever reason I was so deluded, and
what
the heck? I just searched for when did Candace Owens become a Catholic, and the news that I see are from 2024. Candace Owens converts to Catholicism. Last year, the news were that she got Candace Owens just got baptized into the Catholic Church. It's on her Instagram story. Okay, so this was 2 years ago. It was 2024. So 2024. That wasn't really 3 years ago. It's kind of interesting.
thought that the baptism, when I got there, like that was the finish line, like this is, yes, I've made it. I've figured it out. The battle is spiritual. I've now entered into the Catholic faith, and I had no idea how backward I had it. It was really, the battle was just beginning. Someone said to be a Catholic is to suffer. And I really saw how immediately true that was. Almost to the minute, becoming baptized. And I promise you, when I was Protestant, I went around the world, I spoke about my faith, I talked about Christianity, I spoke about the Bible, and nobody batted an eyelash. The moment that I became Catholic, it was just game on. It was,
AP.
Wait, what? Is this
AP.
really the angle she's going?
Yeah, you're not a Catholic. I'm not a Catholic. We've had our share of disagreements with Candace and shows that we've done. Have any of them ever been a complaint about her converting to Catholicism, or did she just seem to go off an insane deep end and stuff to where before you were like, okay, she sounds like she's off on this or that, but maybe right about this or that, but not enough to pay a ton of attention to. And then she all of a sudden goes into like deranged conspiracy nut job realm.
Yeah. I don't remember. I mean, I don't know of a single instance or a single thing of people attacking her because of her Catholic faith or anything like that. I don't remember
she's saying that's why everyone's mad at her.
I don't remember a single instance. I don't know of a single thing of people going after her because she's Catholic or anything like that. She just went crazy, which is why people started going after her. If that coincides with her conversion to Catholicism, maybe we should look at what else happened around that time. She started going crazy. She started going completely nuts. She started getting with that husband and adopting everything that he does and defending his best friends, including Andrew Tate, whose photos she had in her background the entire time. Nobody had any issue with this at all. I mean, why would anybody have an issue with this? It's ridiculous, man. And it's there's something very cringeworthy about this.
Mm-hmm.
Of how she goes into the room and it's like, oh yeah, as a Catholic, it's very difficult, walking around and Lent and this and that and that. This is so self-absorbed and self-centered and weird, man. It's like, if you want to become a proper Catholic, to my knowledge, she's not even confirmed yet, as I just recently learned, into the church.
Well, neither are you.
Yeah, well. Yeah, which is why I wouldn't go around being like, well, as an Orthodox Christian, let me tell you about my life.
Hey, AP. Hey, you should do a show. Hey, you should make a video and say, when I was an atheist, no one ever had any problem with me. And for years, no one had a problem with me until I converted to Eastern Orthodox. And then everyone became mad at me. That'd be awesome.
And I must say, life as an Orthodox Christian, guys, it's difficult, like Lent and prayer and stuff. What is this, man?
Hey, check this out. So she's grifting here. Here's where I have the difficult. She's obviously grifting sometimes. I don't know about the conversion to Catholicism could be a grift in the same category as like Andrew Tate. What happens when Andrew Tate knows he's about to get into a bunch of trouble over something? He suddenly converts to Islam so that when people go after him, he says, oh, it's because I'm a Muslim. The Matrix hates that I'm a Muslim now, right? So you could do that. She could say, okay, now I'm gonna let the crazy out and just share all my deranged theories with the world. So let me go ahead and convert to Catholicism. That way, when people come at me, I say, it's just because I converted to Catholicism. That is certainly possible. It's also possible, given what I've observed from her, when someone annoys, she decides what she believes based on who has turned against her in some way. And then she'll decide that person and that person's position is pure evil and so on. So also possible that some Protestants ticked her off and then she's like, well, I'll teach you guys a lesson. I'll go with this other thing. And it doesn't even have to be conscious with her, right? It's like, oh, you're criticizing me and you're siding with Ben Shapiro. So you know what? I'm done with you. I'm going to go over here.
I think the Vanity Fair took the first
Vanity. That should be your magazine.
stab, and they they drew. It was actually quite an interesting little art piece. And
is this going to be just a big defense of herself, and it's all because she's a Catholic?
So
is that what this is going to be?
Her husband, who some people say is kind of gay and kind of shady. I mean, lots of people have like presented credible evidence that he actually has like these gay boy interests and stuff like that.
Wait. Isn't it a theory that he's actually a woman and she's actually a man, and therefore, if one of them was pregnant, it would have been him?
Yeah, and who was also a good friend of human traffickers and all that. He was a Catholic, and she married him many years before she converted to Catholicism. So she did convert to Catholicism, most likely, you would say, because of her marriage. Although I would have to say, with the whole shtick, with the whole game that she's playing, of like, oh, I'm this very, very good, obedient woman, obedient wife. She was an evangelical for the longest time, while married to a Catholic husband. Not very good of her, but anyway. So I would say that it's probably influenced by her husband, and he's probably the one who is kind of in charge of her.
So that make him a sandwich mentality's built into it. Make him a sandwich and do anything else he tells you to.
Yep.
Make him a sandwich and destroy Israel for him.
I must say, since I care about the Catholics, because I think very well of Catholics and of the Catholic clergy and all that, I want to point out repeatedly that in no way, for those who don't know, in no way is Candace Owens in any way, or her weird husband in any way, representative of the Catholic Church or of Catholics.
What are you talking about? She's a Catholic.
They're considered
she's a Catholic, speaking at Catholic for Catholics, and you can obviously see on my thumbnail she is the next pope.
In fact, one of the main heroes of this organization is aside from the Strickland guy, is actually a bishop who was explicitly excommunicated and found guilty and excommunicated. I forgot his name, but this is a very anti-mainstream Catholic movement that Candace is part of. That is, part of them reject the Pope entirely and want to go back to pre-1960s Roman Catholicism. Some of them still adhere to it, but are very kind of critical of it and are just a fringe, weird movement. So they are in no way representative of Catholicism or the Catholics.
Here's the issue, though, AP, connecting this to what I was saying earlier, that people are getting their information from X now, and then they see this. Catholics for Catholics, Catholic Prayer for America 2026. Candace Owens, keynote speaker and most important speaker ever at the Catholic thing. Are people going to have any clue about whether she actually represents Catholics on this?
No, that's why it's so important to clarify. Oh yeah, the guy's name is Carlo Maria Vigano.
Who?
An excommunicated bishop. And it's Italian traditionalist Catholic archbishop who was charged by the Vatican with schism and declared guilty and excommunicated in 2024. That's one of the heroes and spiritual leaders, basically. It's funny.
All right, guys. Now, Candace is done introducing herself. She's obviously going to talk about something else. It's going to get old real quick if she's just talking about how great and important she is and how she's being persecuted this entire time. Let's see. Again, I have not watched this.
And they had me up there and J.D. Vance up there, Russell Brand up there, and the piece was about this whole Catholic conspiracy. I think they called it the Catholic Industrial Complex.
Imagine people making a big conspiracy about your entire group. Imagine that. So insane, isn't it? Look at her laughing at the idea. You imagine? We're just Catholic, and they say, we're trying to take over the world.
They had worked through some conspiracy. Why are all of these people, why is
Oh my goodness. Candace Owens laughing at conspiracy nuts who see a Catholic event and they say, why are they trying to take over the world? Oh my goodness. How's it feel, Candace?
Russell Brand praying the rosary. Why is J.D. Vance Catholic? Why is Candace Owens suddenly Catholic? As if there were, something happening in the vaults of the Vatican where people were conspiring to turn everybody into Catholics. And
imagine just thinking that there's all this stuff going on behind closed doors and everyone's conspiring to take over the world. Imagine how stupid.
And they're also assassinating people. They're also
assassinating the Catholics are assassinating everyone who says anything about them. Guys, me and AP just want to be clear right here. We don't want to die. We are not thinking in any way of ending ourselves. So if something happens, it's the Catholics.
It was definitely this. Oh.
My journey, it was right there, Vanity Fair. It was right there. I married a Catholic, actually. So it was pretty obvious that I might land there myself someday. There certainly wasn't any conspiracy.
Oh, so there was a better explanation than the conspiracy. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's interesting. Because I always thought you just go with the conspiracy no matter what the evidence is. Huh.
But it was amazing to see that. I didn't understand why it was, it created so much drama, why you couldn't
why do
be
people follow conspiracy theories? Why would they follow conspiracy theories?
Why?
So
why? What are you, idiots? You idiots? Come on. Oh, yeah, we're taking over the world.
So to speak, or why people had more questions about what made you turn toward it. And my journey, I think, really is just kind of been lifelong in that way. I have always been a person on the pursuit of the truth, right?
Hey, there you have it, AP. She's always been a person in pursuit of the truth. She is really, really great and awesome and based. And now she can finally stop talking about herself for 5 seconds and talk about something else. We all agree you're the greatest person in the world, Candace. What next?
I want to know what the truth is. From the time I was a toddler, my mother growing up to me would say, one day you're going to get a kid just like you. And I think she meant that as a threat, by the way, which isn't great. But I do know she would always remark that when I was a toddler, my father and her would have to sort of, when they would reprimand me, they would say something, and then they'd sort of close the bedroom door and laugh because I had to reason with them. I had to debate the idea to understand.
She was born extremely reasonable and a total pursuer of truth. And you know that because she keeps telling you over and over again, she was just born completely logical, completely rational, completely reasonable, and always, always, always pursuing the truth. She is
hang on.
Wonderful. What?
Hang on.
What?
Now I'm looking at the transcript of her speech here, and I'm searching the transcript for the word God, and there's only one instance of God in the entire speech, and that is toward the end where she says, "God bless you." Is this serious?
Dude,
are you freaking?
Dude, hey, if that is the case, you need to message Milk Bar and say you need to do this. You need to do the same thing with this speech because everything is me in this Catholic Prayer for America 2026 gala.
She mentions Jesus 3 times, and she mentions the word God once, and the rest of the speech is almost entirely just about herself. It looks like. Is this, dude? I have to message.
Dude, her speech is like what, 13, 14 minutes? So there's no way she's just going to talk about herself and praise herself for being the ultimate truth seeker this entire time. No way. She got to get on to something important. Let's see.
Where they were coming from, sort of saying things to them like, Mommy, that doesn't really make sense. I don't really understand. That doesn't make sense. And I think my entire life I've been trying to make sense of things that never really went away, that desire to understand how things work, how the world is working. And I think at a certain point, I really thought that I had sort of landed on truth when I engaged in politics. And you go, okay, now I'm sort of in the belly of everything, and I get this, and it's left versus right, and I have to go back and sort of understand the debates that were being had by the founding fathers, and you feel like you have such a grip on things, and you've really figured things out, and you're flying high. And then you wake up one day and you realize, no, there's something way bigger than this. It actually it's not about politics. You know, the expression that culture sits above politics. There is something that sits way above that, right? And what's happening in this world has always been spiritual. It has always been.
What?
I'm very serious and genuine when I say this. There are people that I really have a lot of huge problems with, that I really find completely messed up, but who I think are fantastic speakers. For example, Nick Fuentes. I think he's an absolutely despicable, horrible person, but he's a very good speaker, charismatic and all that, which is a bad thing, right? There are other people who I think have horrible, terrible ideas, but have like great qualities. With her, I just don't understand it. It's like this speech is like the most boring thing I've listened to in my life. She never says anything informative, never says anything insightful. I've listened to her many times. She never
says anything informative. She had like 80 episodes about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and just think about how much closer she's gotten everyone to the truth about what happened.
She's not a good speaker.
She's a good speaker.
I don't understand. It just seems to me like the right-wing version of doing the whole DEI and token black person stuff,
That's definitely connected to it, but she's a pretty good speaker, and as far as being able to blurt stuff out with not a lot of non-fluencies, ums and ahs and stuff like that, she can just keep going. As long as you're not paying attention to how stupid everything she is saying is, then
and I pay attention to how stupid it is, which is why I can't, like, I'm just like, this is so dumb, and I can't listen to it anymore.
So wait, hang on. You're not impressed by this, but you're impressed with, all right, guys, welcome to the latest episode with me, Nick Fuentes, and we're going to talk about the Jews. All right, what's up with these Jews here, everyone?
You have to give it to the guy. It's not even a mild disagreement. The guy's absolutely horrible and has absolutely horrible views. But I can actually sit down and watch a clip of his, or I watch a few minutes of his, and I'm actually genuinely laughing.
That's the thing. He is hilarious. Candace is not funny. Nick is again, like, seriously messed up stuff, but he's legitimately hilarious.
Yeah.
Theological. And when I began to examine those things and realize, love America, 250 years, rah, rah, rah. But there's a lot of stuff that happened before those 250 years that you have to get your hands on, and to fully understand these things of the world, and to recognize that these debates that we are having, they're not new. They are not new. And
wait, they're not? Huh.
So I've approached it that way, and when I was baptized, the option was given to me to do my confirmation at the same time. And I thought about it, and I said, no, I want to take that sacrament the right way. When you get baptized, you're very much in your infancy. A confirmation signals more maturity. I certainly didn't feel that I was there. I wanted to just do a couple of years, learn the missal, understand what was happening. Why are the priests wearing those vestments? Why these colors? Not to feel like such a newbie, to ask.
Why isn't the ice melting? Hey, why is that weird sound coming out of the sky after the lightning? And AP, I don't know if she was assigned. Did they actually say, Candace, we want you to speak at our Catholics for Catholics prayer for America 2026 gala? Can you come up here and talk about yourself the entire time?
Yeah.
Was that the assignment? Talk about, because I will have no problem with it. If they said, Candace, we just want you to come up and talk about yourself and how great you are and how you've always been a pursuer of the truth. And therefore, everyone here can know that if they had any reservations about trusting everything you say on your show, they will drop all those, because she has assured us she is an ardent pursuer of truth. If that's the assignment, we want you to come up and talk about yourself the entire time, I would say, okay, nailed it. But if they just gave her the time, said, hey, talk about whatever you want for 15 minutes, and this is what she came up with. Weird. What?
Look where you paused it, man.
There's your thumbnail.
The priest was probably like, okay, you're baptized. We are ready to also confirm you. And she's like, no, you don't know what you're doing. So I have to first sit down and figure this out. See, I personally, when I grew up, I had these experiences and all that, and I have to really understand and all that. And I also have to really understand what it really means to be confirmed. So you just pause, you just pause. You clearly don't know what you're doing. I always know. Okay. And I will get back to you when it's time to get confirmed. That's how it went.
All of those questions, and which I will be asking for a very long time. I could take years off to study the history of the church, and still.
I'm sure you will.
Also, by the way, she grew up, and when she grew up, and this happened and that happened, and this happened and that happened, and and all that. Gosh,
wouldn't be there. But there was another component of it that I wanted to discuss with you guys that made me a bit nervous about becoming a Catholic, and it was kind of this quiet anxiety that I had about not feeling connected to Mary, right? I just was like, I don't feel this connection to Mary, and Catholics have this connection to Mary, and I know that sounds really typical. Dr. Scott Hahn has written about that. That's kind of the standard Protestant operating, what about Mary? You guys worship Mary. But it wasn't in that way. I understood it intellectually. I understood it theologically. If I could have the debate about Mary, but I didn't feel it spiritually. And when I would speak with other Catholics,
Cameron, this is your defense. Hang on, let's go through a couple super chats right here. So we get to Cameron, who finally posted from his channel, Capturing Catholicism. So
hey,
guess what, Catholicism? Cameron captured you. What?
I just messaged Milk Bar TV. I asked him if he analyzed a new speech. I said she only mentions God once and mentions Jesus 3 times. He said, not yet. I'm getting to it. But that's 2 more mentions of Jesus than last time.
See? She's getting better, guys. She's growing. She's growing in her faith. All right, hang on. Let's just check out Cameron's here. Hang on. So first we have this. Reconcile 2 Chronicles 35, 20-24, and 2 Kings 23, 28-29 for me. Why? Blowhard Jew meets the wrong Muslim on YouTube, goes over this topic and other contradictions. Please make video on this. There is no way I'm making a video on that. What do you got? The death of Josiah? What would the contradiction even be? One says he's shot with an arrow and then he went back and died, and the other says just killed him and left it there. So one's like what? Like a shortened version of the other? A condensed version? I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. But anyway, it's not my interest. I like the apparent differences. That matter of fact, that was when I started taking the New Testament a little more seriously when I was an atheist. I read Matthew and I read Mark, and you got the story of Legion. One of them said it was 2 guys at the tombs. The other guy says it was 1. And I was reading. I was like, wait a minute, didn't that say something else? And I went back, and my theory had always been a bunch of guys got together and worked on this and stuff. But anyway, just think about this. So you take that. There's 2 guys. There's 2 demoniacs there, or there's a demoniac there. So I looked at that and I'm just like, wait a minute. I mean, obviously people would notice the difference between 2 and 1. No one ever sits down and says, hey guys, we need to boom, fix that. Well, what's that mean? It means they're just reliably copying these, and they're not, hey, let's fix things that we disagree with. So anyway, yeah, I don't have the normal mentality of I need to go figure these out. There are Christians who deal with this stuff. Guys, we're dealing with Islam here, so we got some other stuff too.
I was just looking for mentions of Mary in her transcript, in the transcript, and I just realized that she actually makes the point later on that that since Charlie's passing, there have been random miracles, and I felt the presence of Mary, and she's the person.
Why are you reading the transcript to her when we're about to see it, dude?
She's actually crediting Mary for the crazy lunatic stuff that she has been saying about Charlie. What a... I shall not say.
Hey, I did not know about that. If that's where she's going with this, that's bad, man. That's bad. I'm not even Catholic, but I would regard that as bad if she does that. We're about to see. We're about to see. If so, AP, you got to make a video about that, man. You got to make a video about that because it'd be different coming from you than it would from me. Because you would be like, I love Mary too. I talk to Mary all the time, and she did not say this to me, so Candace is lying. Something like that. Hey, anyway, trying to get down to this Cameron. In this, Candace had a broken leg and husband's black eye. That's what I'm saying, right? How did coincidence? Right when she gets her broken leg, her husband has a black eye. Come on, Candace, come on, you gotta sell it. And yes, Mossad attacked us, and they hit my husband's eye, and they broke my leg. But fortunately, we stopped them thanks to the power of Andrew Tate. Here we go. Hey, David, I'm curious your actual thoughts on Catholicism. What are your objections? Also, what do you make of Fatima? Don't make anything of Fatima. And what are my objections? Your entire faith is based on the feelings of Candace Owens. What? You just heard it.
I'm just sitting here thinking about somebody who's not familiar and who will just take that seriously.
And furthermore, look at this dork picture of you, man. I'm like, hey, hey, look at the picture. Cameron's like, what is that, man?
Cameron is based.
Cameron Bertuzzi. Hey, start a 5th channel, man.
And to hear their passion and they're speaking about Mary, I was like, man, I want that, you know? I really envy that. I want to have this closeness, but
Dude, no joke, I can sit here and say, looking at the Bible, obviously Mary is special. I don't see some of the things you guys say about her, I don't see. We can have those disagreements. If she is actually going to use Mary to justify her insane, deranged conspiracy theories, I'll have a pretty big problem with that. Because that's sick. That's like sick and beyond evil, man.
I don't feel it. I want to be, maybe I should be more intentional about that. And an interesting moment came at Mass when a woman approached me, and she just handed me a book, and it had a letter inside of it, and it was, I think it was entitled 33 Days to Glory. Everybody knows it. There we go. Still in my infancy.
And yet you're here talking a lot.
The letter that she wrote was so beautiful, and she said, you know, you read these prayers every single night, and you learn about the thoughts of various saints, and you time it so that it lands on a Marian feast. It's a Marian consecration, and she had written how this had sort of changed her life, and that I should do it. And I said, great, this is a perfect opportunity. This is what I had been looking for. I mean, my husband did it. It was fantastic. Every night we sat down and we did our prayers together. I mean, it was also, you know, the opportunity to speak through it and for me to ask these questions. More time with my husband. We got to day 33. And, you know, I don't know if I wasn't expecting like a magic carpet to come in and take me out of the room, but I went, I want to feel the thing. And I felt so not great about the fact that I still didn't feel this connection. I guess the only way to give you the analogy of how I felt about it is I have two sisters, and we all had kids at the same time. Our first.
I'm waiting for her to say anything of relevance to anyone apart from just her trying to get people to drop objections to her.
It's kind of weird. It seems that the whole speech is basically about Mary, and I don't really understand the necessity of the speech coming from her.
I do.
At a Catholic event at all.
Here's what it seems like. It seems like the first half is, look at me, I'm so great. I've always been, I was just born pursuing the truth, and I always had to be shown the evidence for everything, and everyone, it would annoy everyone, but that's because they're losers, and I'm the winner, and blah, blah, blah. I'm so great, I'm so great, I'm so great, I'm so great. But I understand we got a lot of Catholics here, so y'all like Mary, right? Y'all like Mary? Guess what? Me and Mary are like this, and then talk about her and Mary the rest of the time. So no one can possibly object to anything. No Catholic can object to anything she's saying. And so if you object to Candace Owens, you got a problem with Mary. Didn't she say that a while back? Like you're going to hell if you are going against her or something like that?
Yeah, she actually, to people objecting to her stuff, she actually did say that you're going to face justice in hell and all that.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's see if she is the supreme representative
She also said
of Mary on this planet.
She said that her podcast is God's platform. She said that it is God's work. She said that that she's speaking. I don't want to frame it the wrong way, but something very loony about how it is God
Candace?
telling her
No way.
these things. Then she said that she said to people objecting to her analysis that they're probably going to go to hell. It's messed up, man.
She pulled a Muhammad with that one.
At the same time, we all had boys, and about, I would say, 7 months after my little sister had her son, she told us, she had never expressed this to us, but she was like, he was a very colicky baby, just one of those babies that never stopped crying, screaming.
So then when I was 7, my cousin came to visit after, hadn't seen my cousin in a while. And then, we had a sandwich one day, and I realized I really like sandwiches. And so anyway, how this ties to things now is, I made a book called Make Your Husband a Sandwich. And it's because, my cousin, we ate a sandwich together, and it's like.
And she said, I feel like I can say it now, but I didn't have a connection to him. I just was like doing the thing for 7 months. And we were like, oh, you didn't like your own baby? Like, you didn't feel the thing you're supposed to feel as a mother. You didn't have a connection to your own baby. You're his mother. And by the way, where's Johnny at? I felt this way when I told Johnny, I was like, I struggled a little bit with Mary in the beginning. He's like, oh. That's Jesus' mother, right? It was sort of this like embedded shame of I'm supposed to feel the thing. I know everybody feels the thing, but I don't feel the thing. And again, I was in the infancy, so it was kind of a reversed analogy. And so we set that aside, and I kind of sort of resigned myself to the fact that, okay, this is.
This speech can be titled, I didn't feel the thing, but now I feel the thing, apparently, is the big takeaway. And so what made her feel the thing? And you're saying it's going to have something to do with Charlie Kirk dying or something?
Listen, there is a good, valuable way that somebody who, struggled with a certain aspect of the faith, of the community, could come and give a speech in order to relate to and also help other people who struggle with things and all that. Can be done in a nice way. I mean, I can think of I'm familiar with the concept, and the concept can be done in a very nice way. If there is somebody who actually has something substantial, something good to say in that direction, and you can be a guide to other people who also have similar struggles, to make it relatable and all that. It's a frequently done thing. Bring somebody on who has dealt with this very same issue, have them talk about it, which could motivate other people to also deal with it in the way that she dealt with it. But I don't understand how she is doing any of this in a good or useful way. She's just talking about, and I grew up, and by the way, the other day, and also, and when I was a child, and when I was a baby, and by the way, guys, it's like there's nothing substantial, nothing useful about this. It's so dumb, man. It's all about herself.
It really, I know, it seems like she's selling herself to a Catholic audience, right? Like, hey, in case anyone in case anyone doesn't basically worship me, let me tell you how great I am and how I'm totally super close to Mary, and therefore you can't question anything I say. I mean mine, Candace Owens. Pretty much her entire speech there. And Jesus Fan 28 says, "This is too much cringe. I might OD." It's about right.
Just what it is, and I'm just not going to announce that or say anything to anybody about it. And it's funny now in the retrospect, because when you think about a mother is someone that you need.
Is that
right?
Is that what
It's
a mother
someone
is?
that you need. Babies need their
Tell
mother.
us about babies and
right?
mothers,
It's
Candace.
less about want and more about need.
Yeah, good point.
And of course,
Good point. Good. Everyone in the audience has ever had a mother, so it's a good way to connect with everybody. Mothers are important, everyone. Did you know that mothers are important? And there's
months later, I would find myself in a state of need, and it was just the most, trying time I would say in my entire life. Most trying time in my entire life when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were.
Shut up.
I don't think.
Shut up. Shut up, you absolute evil, sick demon. You absolutely evil, sick. This is really making me so freaking angry, man. This is making me. She has had a bad time, a terrible, terrible, horrible time. You absolutely filthy, disgusting, sick, monstrous evil. You
Yeah.
absolutely dishonest, lying, cowardly, lunatic bastard. You filthy piece of.
You know who else has had a rough time, Candace? Everyone who was around Charlie and his wife and so on. You know, all the people you were attacking for months now. Yeah, sure. They kind of had a rough time too, and still are. In large part thanks to you and all your insane fans who accuse them of all conspiring to kill Charlie. But hey, we're really concerned about how you feel.
When
That
Charlie
matters.
was killed, when Charlie was murdered by a trans furry loving lunatic whom this demon here defends day and night by deflecting to some crazy messed up conspiracy theories. When he was murdered, Candace didn't seem to be bothered at all. She was out there giving interviews. She was out there putting a smile on her face. She was out there being completely fine. Then she came out there the first time that she actually made a video, made a show after the murdering of Charlie, who knew very well who to distance himself from this crazy lunatic. She made it all about herself. She made it all about herself and how much Charlie actually appreciated her and loved her and all that, just to later then reveal to us all that Charlie actually explicitly distanced himself from her and basically kicked her out and only used, "I'm going to bring back Candace" once as a threat in a moment of anger, when he was getting angry at people.
You see, he is in love with me. And Erica and those other people kept us apart. And then I had to go with this backup plan that I just kicked in the head.
She's hostile to everything that Charlie loved when he was alive. She's hostile to the thing that Charlie gave his life for, that Charlie actually built, that Charlie actually created. She's hostile to everything that Charlie has said. She now insults Charlie day and night by saying that, "Oh, Charlie didn't, Charlie was actually brainwashed, and unfortunately he fell for it. He was actually brainwashed." I'm sorry, Charlie Kirk was worlds more intelligent than this little rat can even dream of. She doesn't even comprehend any of this. Charlie was significantly more intelligent and knowledgeable about the world and everything there is than this rat here on stage. And she is busy day and night attacking and hating everything that Charlie loved, that Charlie considered important. And she is also day and night attacking the one person who really suffered and who is still suffering so deeply because of the murder of Charlie. Erica Kirk. She is day and night attacking her like the demon that she is, like the evil demon that she is. This evil, absolutely lying demon that she is, who instead of selling her body sells her whatever she has for the money and the fame.
Tell us how you really think, AP. Come on, quit
Yeah,
holding
well,
back.
I could, but it's going to, but you know.
No, this is what I said earlier. She decides what's true and what's false based on whether she likes or dislikes you, and she likes or dislikes you based on whether you always give her what she wants. So the reason for her hostility towards Erica and everyone else at Turning Point and so on is she views all of them as the people who like kept Charlie from her. Like, either Charlie chose them over her, or they manipulated Charlie into going with them and not her, and therefore they are all the enemy. And guess what? When she goes and looks at the evidence for whatever happened, it's always going to be people she doesn't like whoever she didn't like. I mean, think. Andrew Tate bragged for years about what he was doing. She comes on there, nope, this was all, this was so long ago. It wasn't. It was like 2 years earlier. But she couldn't, all her investigative skills, she couldn't find any evidence, even though anyone else, it took them 5 seconds to find all the evidence. She couldn't do it in her investigation. Why? Because she liked him and he was friends with her husband. So she decides everything. She decides your guilt or innocence. She decides what the facts are based on whether she likes you or not. And people are stupid.
And I hope that there will never be a moment like that, where you question everything. You question everything. And those moments are sort of magnified when you're a public figure, because there is this, you're not really seen as a human being when you're a public figure. There's an avatar of you that's out there, and people think they know the avatar, and there was so much to process. I think the entire world obviously was impacted by it, and to know a person and to see a person lose their life when it is not expected in circumstances like that, you go through something that words fail. Words fail to describe. And I found myself truly almost broken by this.
Yeah, Candace, imagine how everyone else who was close to Charlie, who's actually close to Charlie, felt. His wife, all his friends, all the people you've been attacking nonstop and accusing of conspiring to kill him. She seems to lack any ability to comprehend anyone else's feelings other than her own. And I'm a freaking diagnosed psychopath, and I can make myself think about other people's feelings more than she can.
Those following weeks feel like a haze to me. I felt very directionless. I also want to say I think I failed spiritually. There was so many emotions, anger, disbelief, upset, the bargaining that goes with that. I spent a lot of time speaking with my priest, and we spoke through these emotions through our 7 sins as illustrated by Pope Gregory. And he's always said, yours is, you have to deal with the anger, the thoughts. We say we sin in thought and in word and in deed.
And so the way you want to deal with these bad thoughts is to just attack everything Charlie loved in this world. Destroy it. That will make you feel better. Because the world's all about you, Candace. You are the center of the universe. And anyone who convinced Charlie that you are not the center of the universe and the one who's meant for him must be destroyed.
I would like to, if anybody is listening, of all our guys and friends who would like to work on this, I don't have the time. I would love to go to all of everything that Candace Owens has said since the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I would love to go through all of it and pick out every single lie and every single claim and clip it all. The clipping is the most important part, for which I do not have the time. I'm currently dealing with having to set this place up, having to gather everything and move again over the next few months, traveling a lot, trying to at the same time, while dealing with court and all that, family issues, with making new videos and reviving everything and doing live streams at the same time. But if somebody wants to actually contribute to this and do this, if somebody first get in touch with me, wants to go through everything that Candace Owens has said about Charlie Kirk since his death, since his killing, and clip the claims and the lies that she has said about Charlie Kirk, clip all the false allegations, all the, I know, guys, I have proof, I have evidence, and this and this and that, these guys killed Charlie, and these guys are responsible, and so on, wants to put those all together, then get together with me. I would comment on every single one of them and analyze, fact check every single one of them, put it all together into a video, and take her down completely and make it this ultimate Candace Owens fact check and breakdown of everything. It would be really, really fantastic work. So if somebody wants to do that, I would very, very much appreciate that. It would be a very great work for good and for actual justice, not the fake justice that she's trying to go for. It would be really, really, really helpful and really good, because she has gone way too far, and she's milking the situation for her own gain while hurting everybody whom Charlie loved, basically taking a huge crap on his grave for her own benefit, and doing all that. She's evil. She's an evil, sick person, and everything that she has said and her entire reputation, everything needs to be taken down in the most solid and good way.
Are you saying she's still worth going after?
Yeah.
Because I literally have been telling you, I've been thinking about going through everything. Is that worth it, or should I do other stuff?
Absolutely.
It's worth it.
This is really enraging me, that she's actually going here and using this for her personal thing here to make an impression to these people, and she keeps doing it. It's absolutely worth going for.
All right, I'm prepared to turn my brain into 100% pure grade A applesauce for the greater good. It will take me approximately 5 to 7 episodes of her show. I will say, okay, these are her 5 go-to manipulation tactics, and then watching all the rest of it will just be gathering all the confirmation for that's exactly what she does. And I wasn't even thinking about like all the lies and stuff, compiling the lies. But I guess if you got all the manipulation tactics and expose all the lies. All right, guys. All right. Check this out. The Jews broke her foot and the Jews gave her husband a black eye. I know. Mossad. In a war, I would pick David Wood over Candace. Mark my words, guys. I'll still be around after Candace, because I play the long game. I'm sure she has zero clue who I am. Just as once upon a time, Islam had no clue who I was. Israel slammed her heel into her husband's eye. I know. Broke leg on Friday the 13th. She admitted being Jason. Come on. Jason didn't break his leg. He broke other people's legs with a machete. Matt Booty, president of Xbox. Lol, bad name too. Someone's name is Matt Booty? I don't believe that. The black eye and broken foot have something to do with Mr. Farmer's sexuality. I don't know, but I know. I don't know, but I know. That is true. That is smart. Matt Walsh avoided in-person attendance due to a previous commitment that came up unexpectedly. I was going to be there, but something happened. How much money would Pizza Hut make if they rebranded to Pizza Zut and gave 30% discount to stuffed crust pies for Ramadan. They would have made a huge comeback. They would have made I'm going to rethink my words there. Pizza Hut, yeah. Hey, we need a Pizza Hut sign with that says Pizza Zut on it. That'd be funny. For that title alone, I've been asking this for a few weeks. Why are Catholics allowing this? Glad you two are tackling this. Grace and peace. Well, I mean, keep in mind, it's not like you can't make someone like Candace shut up if she doesn't submit to the ordinary authorities. And I mean, you've had leaders call her out and stuff like that. But what do you do if she keeps running her mouth? The creepy part is like, man, what if she becomes just more and more and more popular and becomes like the go-to hero of Catholics? Why are you failing to condemn Bibi, who mocks Jesus and doesn't even care about Israelis, and on the same side as crazy dispensationalists? Love and prayers for all. Talmudic religion, Islamism equals same thing. I got Candace Owens' biggest fan here. Yeah, you dork. What are you talking about? Who mocks Jesus? When did he mock Jesus? AP, you heard him mock Jesus?
No, I heard him praise Jesus, actually.
Yeah, I heard him use Jesus as an example of a supremely moral person.
If he mocked Jesus, I would be happy to call him out and say, hey,
I would totally call him out.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm an hour late to this live stream. I'll go back and watch the first hour tomorrow or something. Oh, yeah, you're going to... Trust me, you're going to hear some powerful, powerful stuff from Candace talking about herself the entire time. The Pope killed Charlie. Prove me wrong. Pope Candace. Yes, I agree. As a Catholic, it's my mission to take over the world. Cigar in mouth, petting my hairless cat on my swizzle chair. It is funny when people can realize how insane a conspiracy sounds when they're thinking of other people thinking about them conspiring. AP, it's like all the people were like, what? You said you responded to this. You must be getting paid $7,000. And it's like, when you toss that around, it sounds really stupid, but apparently to the person saying it, it makes perfect sense. But if someone were saying it about you, you'd be like, what? I ain't getting paid for anything. What the heck is wrong with you? Imagine Mike Winger also at this event. Oh, he's probably Candace Owens' biggest fan. Will we discuss how Lycad-branded Islamists have closed the burial place of Jesus? How Christians in the Holy Land are being evicted? Oh, this is the same guy. Oh, you mean how Iran was raining down rockets and stuff, and so they closed all the holy sites? And now it's this big conspiracy to destroy Christians? Yeah, super smart. Worth considering. If the Nigerian government were to say the persecution of Nigerian Christians is a conspiracy theory, how should we then respond to that? Well, you'd look at the endless attacks and piles of bodies and church attacks and so on and say, that's not a conspiracy. That's not what conspiracy theory means. The literal wolf in sheep's clothing. Mm-hmm. Even Borat would make a more coherent speech. What are you talking about? Borat could rock a mic, man. Candace doesn't love Mary because she hates her mom. If Candace lived 0 BC, she would accuse Jesus of being a Jew. Michael Flynn in the Catholics for Catholics group. Many folks suspect he was the source of QAnon. I've been saying Candace sounds like she's trying to be the new Q. Don't let Mike Winger hear that. He thinks of Q as a Star Trek character. Nerd. What's the point of all this? Point of all what? Candace Owens or us? Capturing Wingalism. That'd be a good one. And basic tickets for this event were $1,200, which would only be worth it if Matt Walsh was actually there to respond live. Is that true?
What?
Was it $1,200 to go to this thing? There's no way. You get a Super Bowl ticket for that, man. You're going to go see Candace Owens for $1,200?
Are you freaking serious? It is.
It was?
Catholic Prayer for America Gala 2026 tickets. Ticket price. General ticket $1,200. What?
That's just the general ticket? Yes. Not like the upgraded ticket to hold hands with Candace or something. You guys paid $1,200 to listen to Candace talk about how great she is this entire time? And then Carrie Prejean after that? Are you kidding me? And that's it. She's like the highlight, and Carrie Prejean is the other highlight.
VIP ticket, $2,000, but depending on seats, it goes up to $5,000.
There's a sucker born every minute. You know how the song goes. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh, wow.
All for God.
Yep. Must be nice. Hey guys, me and AP are going to have an event next month. It's $5,000 to come to our event.
Of course, it's all for God, all for Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And to show you that it's all about God and Jesus, we'll do nothing but talk about ourselves the entire time and how great we are.
I will mention God once when I say God bless you.
Smart.
Thought and thought and thought, and thought again and thought again. At some point in those weeks that followed, my husband egged me to go to confession, which was the last thing that I wanted to do. The very last thing that I wanted to do. I was like being a teenager trying to get out of.
I confess that I've been in love with Charlie the entire time, and I'm feeling lots of rage and hostility towards everyone who kept us apart, namely his wife and everyone else that he loved.
This responsibility, and I was like, oh, we can go. And I'm like, oh, well, it's not going to be open we can go to this church. It's okay. we get to a different church. The kids are in the car. I'm like, the line's really long. We can't make the kids wait in the car as long. He's like, oh, it's okay. I'll just take them to go get gas. He's just making it more and more convenient. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting out of this.
This is freaking torture, man.
I'm going to get in the car. And I went into
The only reason I'm still watching it is because I can take it more than you guys can. And it's worse for you. And I like inflicting pain.
Wait, and then after this, we also have to listen to Carrie Prejean.
There's no way we're going to... There's no way we're going to listen to her entire speech. We'll just kind of get the gist at the beginning.
I can just tell people about Carrie Prejean from my research, which I regret to this day. So, but
you
yeah,
can.
Let's continue.
Church, and it was kind of a bit of a gloomy day. It's a darker church, a lot of wood in the church, and it was just this moment where just the way the sun came in, and it happened to hit a sculpture of Mary cradling Jesus, and it was the first time throughout from the incident until that moment that I felt any peace. It was just a warmth that came over me, and I feel like it was the first time that I genuinely smiled waiting for confession, and I just thought to myself, I know it's going to be okay. I felt, and then I remembered this discussion that Johnny Yep and I had a week before Charlie lost his life in my house, and how we were discussing how we felt Mary was bringing him close because he had just done his show and was defending.
And that's why the Protestants killed him, because he was about to fall in love with Mary.
And speaking about, Catholics really get this right, and Mary. And I was like, thinking of the last discussions, what are some of the last discussions I had with him, where I was egging him. I was like, take the step, because I saw the clip. Take the step, become a Catholic. Come on, you're too smart to be a Protestant. I was just egging him.
You're too smart to be a Protestant.
Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. Did you hear that, all you Protestants, all you Protestant fans of Candace? Did you hear that?
Guys, you need to be smart like Candace Owens.
Did you hear that, guys? I said it before. People don't seem to understand it. If you actually watch her show, you will get it too. If you see some of her reactions to Protestants, you will get it too. She hates Protestantism and Protestants by now. She does this thing all the time of belittling Protestants. And
Protestants Protestants are among the people who kept her away from Charlie. It was Protestants, Jews, Erica Kirk, and anyone else working at Turning Point. Those are the people who kept her separate from Charlie, and therefore they are all the ones who must be destroyed, and everything they hold dear must be destroyed.
And let me tell you one more thing, which is that Charlie Kirk was to his final last day a Protestant. He was an evangelical. He pointed it out just days before his death that he has a lot of love and respect for the Catholic faith, and also for the Orthodox, that he himself, however, is evangelical. That's what he repeatedly pointed out. There was no indication that he was going to change his faith or anything like that. He gave a good. I mean, he said good things, very great things about orthodoxy to me. Stuff that actually surprised me. Where he pointed out to me something that he loves about the Orthodox
AP,
faith.
you should be making a video. Charlie was not about to convert to Catholicism. He was about to become Orthodox because he said this nice thing. He was this far. He was this far, and then the Catholics and the Protestants united to destroy him before he became Orthodox.
It is actually in the episode that I published too, and that was published on the Turning Point USA and on the Charlie Kirk Show channel, which is where he was pointing out that he really likes the Orthodox way of doing theology and all that. None of that is in any way any indication of his moving away or his conversion or his coming closer or anything like that. That is just the way Charlie was. He appreciated things where he appreciated things. I know what she was talking about. He was talking about how Protestants should have more consideration for Mary, and that it can also lead to properly understanding the role of a woman and things like that. It was a very nice speech, but it's just twisting the way he was to kind of make it look like, oh, look, he was getting very close. He was getting very close. Look, very close. He wasn't getting very close. He was just the way he is. And if she's supposed to be an old friend of Charlie, right? She's supposed to know the way he was, the way he appreciates things, even if he doesn't fully agree with them and all that.
Did you see that Babylon Bee post the other day? Let's see. I don't remember which day it was. It may have been like a week ago. I don't remember. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I will just glance down. And oh, here we go. Babylon Bee. Confirmed. In his final days, Charlie Kirk came to agree with whatever you believe. That's what people are doing. Did you know that just before his death, Charlie agreed with everything I believe?
That was exactly what I said, actually.
She loves some applause.
And so I had this piece, and I was like, this is amazing. And then it became even more amazing. There was, you fast forward to the December, and it was the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And we went to Mass at a time that we don't normally go to, and I had prayed in a way that I hadn't prayed before, sort of asking for something to be revealed to me. And on that very evening, when I got home, I had an email with the exact information that I was looking for, and I went, wow, that is just incredible. This is...
Catholics, is this what you guys do at your meetings? Because I will never go to one of your meetings. This is what you do? You just, hey, next speaker. Me. Okay, who's next? Me. Who's next? Beaker. Me. What the heck?
That this happened on this night. And then I had this email.
I bet if Cameron Bertuzzi were speaking, it would be like basically the exact same speech. And so I got my new channel, Capturing Catholicism. Yay!
That had come in. I get about 50,000 emails in this inbox, and I had this email that I sort of filed away that had come in from someone from Lamont, Illinois, where Charlie was from, and where Johnny Epp is from, in this little town. And it was just a really sweet email from a Catholic, who was impacted by the death. And I wrote her back, and Monica is here tonight. I know she is here tonight somewhere. And there she is. We sort of just began speaking and discussing how she had gone to the memorial event and how she had learned about the Catholic Church that Charlie had been attending. Sometimes daily Mass, had been going there, and how drawn he had been to the church toward the end. He obviously did not take that final step, but having those conversations.
Why not just say he did, Candace?
That is true.
Yeah, why not just...
That is true. He did attend Mass. That is true. Several times.
No, I'm saying I'm saying, why not say he took the final step, Candace? Who can say you're a liar? Anyone who disagrees with you, you can just say they're all being paid by Netanyahu to lie.
It was very warming to me. And to this day, I don't know what possessed her to send me this message, but she sent it to me in February. She said, it was a photo of the miraculous medals and explaining every step of what a miraculous medal is. And she said, my mom always encouraged me to wear the miraculous medal for protection. I didn't have it on tonight, and as I was organizing, I saw two, so I put one on, and I was inspired to share. I pray for...
AP, you believe in these miracle medals that protect you from everything?
No.
All the protection and graces of our good Lord, that our good Lord can give us, have a blessed and restful night. And so I opened up to her. I said, it's so funny you say this, because I had struggled to have this connection to Mary, and since Charlie's passing, there have just been random, like, little miracles that have happened, and I feel her presence.
To an extent, I guess, some of the, the so-called miraculous medal has certain things on it, certain prayers on it. Certain rosaries have certain prayers on them that are very, that are just prayers, literally. And
I'm just saying, we were just making fun of the Peter Popoff miracle spring water. And you're like, oh, they said it's spring water cannot be a miracle. Only this medal can be a miracle.
I mean, I would say that it's more like a reminder, but of course.
Now, if you said reminder, that would make perfect sense.
But Catholics do have a different perspective on them, and I guess Orthodox would too, in a sense. But yeah, whatever.
Cameron, can you prove that your medals are miraculous? What evidence do you have that your Catholic medals are miraculous? It'd be funny if he messaged me back, David, there was a bank robbery and they opened gunfire and like all 50 bullets hit my magic medal. And here I am, and that's when I started my channel, capturing Catholicism.
Like, she's the person, she is what I needed. Anyway, she goes on and she says, a simple prayer that I like to say every day and envision is to ask Mary to wrap me and my kids and my family, all I'm praying for, under her mantle, just like we'd embrace and protect our kids. She does the same. And this quote always moved me as a mom to fathom how deeply we are loved by her. If you put all the love of all the mothers into one heart, it still would not equal the love of the heart of Mary for her children. It's beautiful. And that's from St. Louis Marie de Montfort. I promise you, she sent this at...
And I must say that despite being such a horrible speech overall, I guess here at the end here, it actually sounds kind of nice, but it's only been like 15 minutes into the speech until it started sounding okay.
This is Cameron's new hero. Hey, Cameron, when are you going to get Candace on your show to talk about her miracle medals? Huh? Catholics, this is your new hero? This is your new hero? This is the new champion of Catholicism, telling all the Protestants how dumb they are?
I think any Catholic who would like to correct me on this, I think the story with it is just that to some person, some holy person, Mary appears and says certain things and say, take this and tell all the people that if they wear this, then they shall be protected, or something like that. And then it becomes a tradition of wearing that. And that's why it's called miraculous. That's basically something along the lines. That's basically what it is, like a miraculous occurrence. But here in this final minute or so that she's talking, she actually sounds like she's talking about something proper Catholic. Up until this, she was just talking about random stuff, and that's very, very funny.
She sent this at about 9 o'clock my time, and I said, I'm going to go find, you're right, I should be wearing miraculous medals. Went to bed, woke up the next morning, and I homeschool my kids. and I do a micro school of sorts.
She's back to me.
With the McHugh family. The two little girls.
She just reminded us that she homeschools her kids. Those poor,
Me.
poor kids.
They have to spend their time with her. No, wait. She actually has people watching the kids and teaching them and all that. So she's not really actually homeschooling them. I think she's just home remote schooling them or something like that. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, we know that she doesn't. We know that she has a very poor understanding of kids. She was pointing out how this, and this one night apparently Erica said that on his last night, Charlie got up in the middle of the night to get a snack from the kitchen, and then he was getting back, and then their kid woke up, and why would they wake up? What really happened that night? I mean, they should be sleep trained toddlers. They wouldn't just wake up. I mean, she was saying that kind of dumb stuff, which gives me the impression that she is actually not involved in raising her own children at all. Who says this kind of nonsense? It's like something that you hear or learn and then say. Nobody actually would think a child would never wake up in the middle of the night upon hearing a sound, because children are sleep-trained toddlers, and it doesn't happen if they are sleep-trained toddlers. And I would have to be very, very quiet if I just open the room at night, because of the stress that my 3-year-old, will hear something and they'll be like, "Hi, Mom, Dad." But she's telling us this whole story of how toddlers are sleep trained, which is why they would never react to something at night, which sounds like she doesn't raise or is in any way involved in raising her own children.
Dude,
I don't know.
Come on. You're sounding like completely crazy right now. Candace Owens is an expert on 3 things: thunder and lightning, water freezing, and child rearing. That's it. Can you imagine her homeschooling her kids and teaching them basic science?
5 and 2 got out of the car that following morning with miraculous medals that they had made, little toddler miraculous medals. They said, "We have a gift for you. We have a gift for you." And I said, "This is incredible." I mean, I was brought to tears over this toddlers holding a gift of miraculous medals, and I just went, okay, Mary has a way. Mary has a way.
Cameron's like, "Yes, this is the greatest speech I've ever heard in my life. I will buy 1,000 of these miracle medals."
I sent Monica the photo. I went and told my husband, "Where are the miraculous medals? We must get the miraculous medals out." And it has been the most.
I have a question, seriously, man. I mean, to Catholics who are listening to this, I know that there are lots of Catholic speakers, a lot of Catholic people, a lot of Catholic priests and others who do online, information and all that. We give speeches, and many of them sound really nice. I spent quite some time listening to some of them, and they were really, really good representations of Catholicism. Certain bishops who do speeches, who do podcasts, and all that. Having certain people on to represent your faith and to speak to other Catholics is one thing, but then inviting Candace Owens and having her speak and making it sound like this weird cuckoo thing here. I mean, does any Catholic who is listening right here, does any Catholic actually think this is a good representation for Catholicism?
Cameron does.
Why in the world would an organization, even if they agree with her ridiculous politics and her lunacy, which just says a lot about this organization that calls themselves Catholic for Catholics, but why would they even think it's probably a good thing to have Candace Owens on stage to represent us? She just makes it look like a ridiculously stupid, hyper emotionally unstable cuckoo club. That's
True.
what she makes it look like. And I have a lot of respect for Catholicism. And if this was the first instance that I heard of Catholicism, I would think, wow, this This group sucks.
It's pretty weird. Please tell me this is done, man. $1,200 for this. Worth every penny. Right, Cameron? Cameron's like, I would have paid $10 million.
It has been in many ways a miraculous experience, to really feel like you've been broken in a million ways and that there's not much that
Yeah, imagine how other people feel. Oh, you can't. You're incapable.
pick you up, and to recognize that when you are spiritually broken, where else can you turn to but the church? Where else can you turn to but the church? And I would be remiss if I didn't say this. Just as Johnny illustrated, there's a lot going on in the world right now. There was a lot that Johnny
really?
had to go through to put this event on tonight.
Oh, this poor guy had to bring in Candace Owens and Carrie Prejean and got them, and then was able to charge people $1,200 to $5,000 for tickets. So poor guy, and the sound is crap.
Hey,
What?
wait, Brother JT, who is an actual Catholic monk, said, "No, as a Catholic monk, this is disturbing." Thank you for your input, Brother JT.
Which part?
The entire thing here.
It can't be the entire thing.
Candace
Everyone believes in miracle medals.
Candace being the representation of this.
Oh,
of
that.
the,
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Thank you for that, Brother JT. I appreciate it. God bless you.
There is this bizarre energy about Catholics coming together, and the words that are said about Catholics, Carrie Prejean, who you'll hear from later.
I heard it. It's Prejean. I forget.
You wonder where it comes from, and you can get into a place where you get frustrated about it. But I want you guys to know that for the first time ever in America, there is a true Catholic youth movement that is on the rise. Okay.
You mean the ones following Nick Fuentes?
I would also applaud that, but if this is, I don't know.
It's just, I mean, it's hard to think she means anything other than like people who are following the weird people, right?
Yeah.
Like if they weren't following them, I don't think she'd be like praising it. So I don't even, this is creepy. And your freaking speech, lady.
And we should be encouraged by that. We should be encouraged by the struggle. We should be encouraged by the fight. If you are making a difference, it naturally brings you into a state of conflict. And I was really warmed by Bishop Strickland. He published an article, and I just want to read the first couple of sentences. He wrote, "In these days of great confusion, many faithful Catholics are feeling unsettled, some even shaken by the intensity of political pressure, public accusations, and the growing hostility toward those who simply hold the perennial teaching of the Catholic Church."
Well, imagine what it feels like for people to be attacking your group and suspicious of your group and complaining about your group. Must be the worst thing in the world. Now go and do it to someone else all day long, Candace.
Let me speak clearly.
You just heard it. He just called Catholics a cult. You heard it. You heard it, guys. This guy right here. That guy right there.
This movement is a cult. You know what they do is basically, I mentioned two bishops that they go with, and this is just what they do. It's like they act as if they act as if they are speaking on behalf of Catholics universally, and then they even kind of try to claim the growth and the revival of Catholicism among the youth, but then they only ever revolve everything they say around a certain hand-picked number of bishops who are famously known to be very problematic and to have had direct odds and conflicts with the Vatican itself, with the Pope himself. They only gather around these very specific fringe people and only ever appeal to them and only ever use them. This is cult behavior. And then they try to act as if they are the representatives of the Catholic Church, which is just deceptive.
As a shepherd of souls, if you feel that the ground beneath you is shaking, it is not because truth has changed, it's because many have unknowingly anchored themselves to things that cannot hold. Political parties cannot save us. Governments cannot define truth, and no earthly movement, no matter how powerful, can replace the kingship of Jesus Christ. And
hey, she mentioned Jesus.
Hey, wait a minute. What the heck?
What's going on here? Candace Owens mentioned Jesus.
One of the times that she actually mentions Jesus, she's actually just quoting somebody else. That is funny, man. Wait.
Yeah, in closing, I just want to...
Hang on. The first time that she mentioned Jesus, it was when she quoted Joe, whatever, him saying something about Jesus. The second time that she mentioned Jesus, okay, to be fair, it was actually that she saw a sculpture of Mary cradling Jesus. The third time that she mentions Jesus, she's once again quoting somebody else who mentioned Jesus. So only once did she actually reference Jesus herself in this entire speech, when she was simply describing Mary cradling Jesus. So she doesn't mention God a single time throughout the entire speech, except when she says, God bless you at the very end. And she mentions Jesus only when she quotes somebody else or when she describes a sculpture that she saw. What a nice Catholic so-called speech. Very funny, man.
Is she ever going to end this, though?
Say that as this movement rises, I want you guys to be encouraged and not fearful, to fight for it. This is what it means. To be a Catholic is to suffer. Our reward is not here. And I can't tell you how encouraged it is with all of the fighting that happens every single day to be in a room filled with people who share that same heart. And I just want to thank you guys so much for welcoming me and allowing me to be in my infancy, hopefully maturing and toward my confirmation, which will be next month. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Wow. Look at all these people who paid $5,000. These got the good seats. Wow. Mind blown.
Connecting with the average folk through events for wealthy people. Very, very nice.
Here we have David Wood and Rid van Eidemir attacking the Catholic Church. Wow. Yeah, that's true. We are the Protestant Eastern Orthodox Brotherhood Alliance. United.
If anybody is actually attacking the Catholic Church, it's Kenneth Owens here. You should probably pay attention to the problems inside, if you can call it inside.
David, is your wife's Filipino side of the family not Catholic? No, her Filipino side of the family are Catholic. What's that got to do with me? Huh? What? Does that mean I gotta love everything Candace Owens says, huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
All right, then. Well, that was absolute torture. We might watch like 60 seconds of Carrie Prejeans just so we can see what she sounds like.
The most torturous thing I have heard in my entire life.
Sad to see the Theokatos?
It's called Sadducee, not sad to see.
Theokatos. What's that?
Why are you dragging the dumb joke?
Sad to see the Theotokos marked in the chat. To mock hyperdulia is to claim you know more than the first believers who seeked our mother's intercession. What are you talking about? D-Wood making us watch this is pure psychopath behavior.
Yeah, what he's saying is that people saying something negative about Mary would be disrespecting the Christianity as it is and all that. That's what he's saying, basically.
Candace couldn't feel the thing, but Mo could. That's very rude. That sort of joking may be normal down under, but we don't make zoot jokes up here. No maternal feeling, but fast wedding equals deep issues. Yeah, she got problems. Hey, D Wood and AP, it's my birthday today. I'm having a party. Can you tell my friends not to come too early or stay back too late or do small talk, and don't hit on my exes? I'm sorry, but I am shy. You may be shy, but D Wood and AP are not shy to tell the truth, and your friends need to show up exactly when you want them to and to leave without boring you, and definitely not hitting on any of your exes. So there, you have it. You all got it now.
And for all those who don't understand the reference here, this is directly from the Quran. This is directly a Quran reference where Muhammad was having a party, basically, or having people over when he married his cousin, who was really hot, and he lusted after her when she was actually married to his adopted son. But he was like, hey, man, she's really hot. And so he got his son to divorce her, and then he married her. Then he was throwing a little party, which was just people coming over, but the people were staying too long and looking at his new hot wife. And he was wanting to tell them to leave, but he couldn't. So Muhammad came up with the brilliant idea, wait a minute, I can't really tell these guys because I'm kind of shy, but Allah is going to tell them they shouldn't stay too long when they come to visit me. So the Quran verse was revealed, chapter 33, verse 53. O you who have believed, do not enter the houses of the Prophet except when you are permitted for a meal, without awaiting its readiness. But when you are invited, then enter. And when you have eaten, disperse without seeking to remain for conversation. Indeed, that was troubling the Prophet, and he is shy of dismissing you. But Allah is not shy of the truth. And when you ask his wives for something, ask them from behind a veil that is purer for your hearts and their hearts. And it is not for you to harm the Messenger of Allah or to marry his wives after him ever. Indeed, that would be in the sight of Allah an enormity. What a ridiculous book.
He said, ask his wives from behind a veil, and moreover, the Zut will ask him from behind.
So the Quran is about the stupidest book that you can read in your life. Just so everybody.
It's pretty bad, guys. Pretty bad. Let's see. I don't know if you know. Well, we don't know, but we do know. Candace sells Shabbat Shalom Daddy Home shirts. That is a dig at Charlie's statement to his kids when he came home at Friday. Yeah, that was like completely insane. I did follow a little bit of that on X where she was saying that that Jews are trying to make it look like Charlie wrote a book about the Sabbath, and oh, what a coincidence, right after he died, then his book about the Sabbath is coming out, and then there's all these clips of Charlie saying, my next book's going to be about the Sabbath because it's really important. To be clear, I agree, Candace is evil, and it wasn't Israel.
Wait, what?
She's
selling shirts that say Daddy's home? And she says that is home Shabbat Shalom.
She's literally profiting off her own mockery of Charlie Kirk. But she's the good one, guys. Hey, David and AP, been bringing and loving the Islamic Dilemma videos lately, but I have a quick question on faith. What would each of y'all consider right and wrong about Catholicism versus other denominations?
Yes.
Yeah. One, I don't know why anyone keeps asking me these questions. I've never studied this stuff. I've never studied. It's always, I mentioned this, I think yesterday or the day before. I became a Christian in a jail cell with a Bible. And so I just kind of rolled with that. I didn't consider myself a Protestant or anything else. I just considered myself a Christian. I believed that Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead, and that he's Lord, and so on. So anyway, for a while, I'm just reading the Bible. And then later on, people are like, no, you got to do this. And it's always like, well, why? And I don't know. I've never seen a compelling reason. With that said, I've never been terribly interested, right? Like if someone comes along, here's all this stuff here's all this additional stuff. Like, okay, well, come give me an awesome reason, and then I'll get interested in the stuff. But I've never gotten terribly interested. So that's what I mean. It's like when people are like, David, you're so great with Islam. Now talk about Hinduism. Like, why would you think I have any clue what I'm talking about on Hinduism? Like, why would you think that that I should be talking about that?
Just give me a reason.
Let's see. When Candace was asked to speak at this event, did she hear, please come on stage and babble narcissistically? Well, I mean, that might have, that's why I was asking. If that was the assignment, if they're like, here, look, here, we're giving you $300,000 to come on stage and babble narcissistically. And she's like, I'm your girl. But just so you know, I'm going to convince everyone over time that I am Mary's avatar on Earth. And then that Carrie Prejean is going to be like, no, I heard that I'm Mary's new avatar on Earth. Well, we're going to have a battle to see who the real one is. Guys, completely serious here. Remember what I was saying for years, that if you get the entire Dawa all the Dawa guys, if you get the entire Dawa leader community all populated with nothing but narcissists, they will destroy Islam for you. Guess what? Whatever this group is, and I know this is some weird offshoot or something like that, if all your speakers are narcissists, guess what? They will eventually destroy your whole movement. That's why you don't actually have to worry particularly about this. This is already done. This is already cooked. This group right here, this group right here, they are already cooked because of who they are going with. They will destroy each other. And that's a fact. They could even paint the iconic Pizza Hut roof to look like the Kaaba. That would be funny. It's cool having AI now. Now people can just type these into AI and get the stuff. The drive-through line will loop around and around. Let's go in a circle. That's funny. They're all walking around the Pizza Hut. Bibi said that Genghis Khan was Jesus' best friend. Carrie Pigeon sued Trump 20 years ago. Well, can't fault her for that. Which is better, Conan? Oh, I was thinking of Conan O'Brien. Conan or Lord of the Rings, all material? Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
And I love the original Conan movie. A, Candace is boring. B, Charlie has a debate with Knowles about Catholicism. He didn't accept Mariology. C, in Utah, he's on video saying he's evangelical.
Yes.
Wrong.
Oh, yeah, that was his. He said it right there, I think. Yeah.
Wrong.
That's true.
If this is what Candace does to the public with her nonsense speech, imagine the psychological issues her priest now has having to take her confessions. Yeah. Can you imagine? His priest is in there. Please shut up. Please quit talking about yourself so much. Please. Oh, what a nightmare. Please just go back to Protestantism, please.
It is incredible to me how much patience priests have. Seriously. I guess you have to be a certain personality to be a priest. It's like I think about that sometimes. Since I kind of started going to the church myself, thinking about how many people they consider part of their responsibility, and then listen to them all the time, and listen to their confessions, and help them with all kinds of other things outside confessions. Like their whole life just revolves around taking care of other people's problems. It's like they have to have real patience, man. Incredible.
Hey, here we go. Look at this. Same guy. God bless you both, despite you mocking me. Bibi said, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan, i.e., morality alone is insufficient. Any Christian should take issue with this, not defend it.
Listen, if you said to me the words, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan, I would say, hang on, what? That sounds very problematic. What are you telling me? That's how I would start, right? Mm-hmm. I would ask that person to explain what they mean. Mm-hmm. If they explain to me that this is rhetorical, that they are actually meaning something else,
or you don't even need to ask. You could just back up and see what you're actually saying in context.
I know. Let me get there. Okay. If they explain to me what they actually mean, and they don't actually mean simply Jesus has no advantage over Genghis Khan, but that it is part of a certain explanation that within context makes perfect sense, and it is in no way insulting of Jesus, I would say, oh, okay, Now I see the point. Now I see the point. If you just said that to me, that would be kind of problematic. But within context, it actually makes sense. Guess what? With Benjamin Netanyahu, we don't have to ask him for an explanation because he already makes the explanation before he says this phrase, and also even further on after he says this phrase. And the explanation is a very, very clear one. If you actually pay attention to the explanation that he makes, you wouldn't have such a big problem with it. In fact, if anybody else said the very same phrase and gave the very same speech, you would have no issue with it at all.
Zero problem.
You would ignore it, and you would even probably agree with it. Because it is Benjamin Netanyahu, like, no, he's insulting Jesus. He is not. Okay? I don't know if you like being insulted or something. Work on your comprehension skills. Start being, I don't know, honest to yourself, a little bit intellectually honest. Stop bringing up the same ridiculous nonsense. You're obsessed with Israel, man. You're obsessed with Jews. You're obsessed with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah. So
hey, God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah. This was in the Q&A. So he gave a short speech, which was basically why they believe that they should go to war with Iran rather than just let Iran continue. And he spends a bit of time explaining that. Anyway, then there's the Q&A, and they keep asking questions. Why now? Why this? Why that? And he's talking about regimes that are hell-bent on killing people. And he says it's there are people in the world who just don't have a realistic view of the world, and they think morality is just being on the right side is good, and you don't have to actually stop them. And he said that's false. And the book he quoted, here's the book he quoted, Will Durant. Will Durant in the book, he gives multiple examples. He says, people didn't stop Hitler just by sitting around being good. It has to be combined with action. He said people didn't stop the Islamic invasion of Europe just with their rightness. He said Charles Martel had to go out and stop them. And he talks about the Mongols and so on. And he's talking about the idea of if you're completely moral but you don't act, then you have no advantage over the evil tyrant who's going to come and destroy you, right? You have to act. Otherwise, your goodness does not give you an advantage. And he says, quoting Will Durant, that Jesus has no advantage over Genghis Khan, meaning the morality of Jesus does not stop Genghis Khan. Jesus himself would have to act to stop Genghis Khan. And you say, oh, what? Jesus could call on 12 legions. I keep saying, Jesus could call on 12 legions of angels. What are you saying? That if he actually did something, that would stop? Okay, suppose he does nothing. That was his point. He said you could be as moral as possible. This was Benjamin Netanyahu using Jesus as a paradigm of morality and saying you can be as good as Jesus, and if you do not act, it would not stop someone from doing evil. Is that wrong? Is that false? If a terrorist comes into the room to open gunfire on a bunch of kids, and you sit back and say, well, the kids are good and I'm good, and therefore we don't need to do anything. Does that stop the terrorist? No. Does the fact that the Allies were more right than the Nazis stop the Nazis? No, they still had to go. This is something that we hear all the time. The only thing necessary for evil to win is for good men to do nothing, and everyone praises it until Netanyahu says it. And that is the most evil thing. He's basically the Antichrist, and he's possessed for saying this thing. And then you wonder why we make fun of you, because you say stupid things like this. And I'm just saying, if I listen to what someone says and I go, that's a correct point, and everyone goes, he's mocking all Christians and saying that we should serve Satan. Don't ask me to trust anything you say, because I think you either have terrible comprehension problems, or you're so incredibly biased that I can't trust you to interpret anything anyone says accurately, because you're unable to process it. Hope that helps.
And then the same people come out like, why are you defending? And the entire thing here started because you came in here and asked us why we are defending him. You come to this whole thing. People like you start with lies, with false accusations, with slander, always for a specific purpose, always to attack people, always to make a political point, to rile people up with lies. And when I hear that kind of stuff, I jump up to the defense, because I can't tolerate your lies. I can't tolerate your ridiculous reasons for attacking a certain people or a certain nation. And that's what you guys do it for. I have to step in here. David has to step in here to correct you on your lies, on your ridiculous lies, on your ridiculous propaganda. That's what it's all about. I have no interest in sitting here and being the defender of Benjamin Netanyahu. But when you go after people or after somebody or after a nation repeatedly with such hostility and such lies, which sound evil to me, and I'm sure you have good intentions, I hope. It's just, it's bad, and I want to say something about it.
Pretty bad.
It's because of you, and not because of me.
Because Marie was a Jewish mother. Who's Marie? The idolatry of Mary is second to none in the Catholic Church, not to mention the sheer twisting and adding of God's scripture warned against in Revelation. Is this true or not, AP? Tell the truth. Is this true?
Wait. What? There was just this one comment by this one guy, or are you also for Israel closing the Church of the Holy Sepulchre? Are you freaking serious? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Right now, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is closed. It was ordered closed. Why do you think it was ordered closed? Is it because Israel was like, this place is evil. We hate Christians and we hate churches. That's why we want it closed. Why do you think right now, if you have been following the news, why do you think Israel has ordered the temporary closing of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre? Could it in any way be related to the amount of missiles that are currently being fired by Iran, which land in certain places just recently? One land
they're in a war.
Multiple places have been hit. Hundreds of people have been severely injured, and an entire Arab section has just been hit. And multiple different places, aside from simply churches, have been closed down, and people have been told to stay away from those places, from places where people gather in high numbers. That is literally why it's currently closed. All year, for years, it's open. Once there is an instance where in war, due to security measures, they say, please close the place right now. People shouldn't be gathering in high numbers. And you're like, well, look, Israel is closing the Church of the Holy Sepulchre because they hate Christianity. What's your problem, man? So dishonest.
But do you agree that the idolatry of Mary is second to none in the Catholic Church?
I think that in the Catholic Church, more so than the Orthodox Church, has very, very strong devotion to Mary. I would consider it stupid to call it idolatry,
though. Black Angel said, Dawood, make the video. We'll get 500,000 easily. I don't know about that. Like I started on the first day, I got most of the stuff, and I took screenshots of like all the people who were saying, like, they're saying things like, he's telling us it's better to serve Satan and stuff like that. And it's like, it's a mixture of like Groypers and everyone else. And so I got all that ready, and then I was like, I didn't make the video. And then it was the next day, and I was like, it's probably too late now. And then I asked you the day after that, and you're like, no, still make it. And I was thinking, okay, if I make it on Sunday, it'll be okay. And then I didn't make it because I had 2 live streams. I've got everything ready. Is it still relevant tomorrow, AB?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking no, because that was days ago, but I still see people bringing it up. So I don't know, man.
Dude, here is an article from the Catholic EWTN News. Iranian missile fragments fall near Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The government of Israel condemned the Iranian regime for firing missiles at the holy sites of Jerusalem, endangering Jews, Muslims, and Christians alike. Foreign Ministry spokesman Oren Marmorstein provided details of the incident at a press conference held near the impact site. We are here next to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. A missile from the Iranian regime, a ballistic missile launched from Iran, struck this location, he said. Basically, the entire old city is in danger because of these ballistic missiles fired by Iran against the civilian population and now against the holy sites in Jerusalem. Are you freaking serious? This here is the context of the closure of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Yeah, guys, we've been there. It's, you have tons of Christians who go in there and pack out the place, And not just Christians, like people go in there just to see the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Remember AP, we walked in, there was a bunch of Muslims in there walking around, and it was just, they were looking around at the place. So I don't know if you guys know this, but that place, AP and I went there during the war when it was there weren't a lot of people in there. I went there a few years earlier. They had to actually they were having to shove people through the door. It was so packed, right? They're having to push people in the door, like those videos of subways and stuff like that, where it's so crammed that they have a guy pushing. That's how packed the place can get. Would that be a good place to have a ton of people packed in during a war when missiles are falling out of the sky? No, because if something hits and a ton of people are dead because they're all packed. Anyway, point is, I'm not saying I would shut it down. I'm just, I understand the idea, and I don't think, oh, you really hate Christians. It must be that you're trying to destroy Christianity during this war where ballistic missiles are blowing up overhead. Anyway, don't know. Let's see. Catholics are based, bro. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so Candace Owens is based. You heard it here. Catholics are based. Candace Owens is Catholic. Candace Owens is based. All right. Protestants had a literate population. Shame on us. And the printing press. But how do you teach devotion to illiterate people? Medals.
Hey, by the way, news
Rosary,
here.
Understand what?
From yesterday, Israel orders the closing of multiple schools, bans gatherings, including religious gatherings, and synagogues after severe missile attacks by Iran. Look, it looks like Israel hates synagogues. Israel hates Jews.
The Jews are trying to destroy the Jews. Think about the reasoning, guys. Schools, synagogues. You don't. If a rocket hits, you don't want a ton of people gathered in the same spot. It's better to have people sort of spread out, and that way, if something hits a building, a few people die. But if you have 1,000 people packed into somewhere and a rocket hits, it's really bad. Again, I'm not saying I would do this closing down and stuff like that, but if they're doing it to churches and synagogues, it's because the Jews are trying to destroy both Christianity and Judaism. That's how bad they are.
Why would Jews support Israel when Israel literally hates synagogues?
I wonder if the Pope told Candace to stop, would she?
I would bet everything on it if the Pope himself said Candace's name and said
she would suddenly declare war on the Pope.
Immediately, she would start going after the Pope,
and she would suddenly find out that the Pope assassinated Charlie Kirk. It would just the evidence would magically appear. But Catholics don't worship Mary.
Yeah, they don't.
You're spot on about Fuentes comparison. Mm-hmm. Well, that's thing. Candace should definitely be canonized within the vaguely Catholic platitude reciting celebrity group. That's a funny name. Milk Bar doing journalism found Kent leak to Candace. Really? Interesting. Left Islam a few years ago, now getting baptized and confirmed on Easter, and I fervently pray that I never become the type of Catholic Candace is. Yeah, whatever else you do, never become the type of anything Candace is. Candace in 10 years. I always felt Muslim. That is Candace. David, would you do a debate with Candace? I mean, it depends on what the topic is. For lots of topics, I would think probably there's someone else better to debate. But if it's a topic I'm interested in and that I'm competent in, I would totally debate her in a heartbeat. Theokatos. Wait a minute. Theokatos, bearer of God, mother of God.
You mean Theotokos?
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
David was making a dumb joke and
it's
trying.
Yeah, Theotokos.
This is what I mean by you dragging it.
Yeah, but I'm not doing. This person keeps posting it. Look, here's the next one. Oh, there we go. They corrected it. Theotokos, bearer of God, mother of God, Protestant. Yeah, okay. Why do Muslims marry their cousins all the time? Because Muhammad did, and therefore it's just good.
It's good to keep it in the family.
The complete shift from party etiquette to not marrying his wives always gets me. Is that the most disjointed thing in the Quran? The complete shift from party etiquette to not marrying his wives always gets me. Is that the most disjointed thing in the Quran? Thanks for the wishes. I made a video years ago that's saying that was my favorite verse in the Quran because it just kind of summed up so much of Islam. But
look at
U.S. liberty!
Hey, look at this news from today. Literally a religious Jewish reporter reporting about it. Holy sites across Jerusalem's Old City remain closed as Iran war enters fourth week. Access to the Old City is largely restricted to only the residents. And Jews who are in the Old City and who want to pray at the Western Wall have to pray from the distance. There's even video footage of some religious Jewish man standing on a balcony from the distance and facing the Western Wall and praying. Nobody's allowed to go to the Western Wall.
You see, they don't want any Jews near the Western Wall because when they do controlled demolition of the Dome of the Rock from underneath, they don't want any Jews to be killed. This is the proof.
I guarantee you someone's going to come out with that theory.
They're doing it already, probably.
Even Crowder said people took Bibi out of context. I mean, Crowder is way more commonsensical than a lot of the nut jobs, so he totally corrects people when they're ripping something out of context. Bibi said Jesus built a table for Genghis Khan. D. Wood, have you ever considered debating Tovia Singer? I'd love to see that. Again, it would have to be, I'd do it, but most topics, if it's like who's the Messiah, Messianic Jews would probably be better than that, or someone who focuses on things like that. With that said, I totally, if it was like, is Christianity true or something like that, I'd debate him on it. I
tried to have a discussion with him, actually, and I know multiple people who got in touch with him, mutual friends, and he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah,
he has a problem with he doesn't want to anger Muslims.
I say do the vid just so it will exist in your, what's VOD? Video
on demand.
That's what I thought it was, but I don't have videos on demand. I mean, I guess you can click on any of my videos, so they're kind of on demand. Please don't mischaracterize me as anti-anything. During previous major conflicts, the church stayed open for key celebrations. Purim celebrations and other large gatherings were allowed to happen. Why are they not allowing?
I just read the news. You can check it for yourself. Even the Western Wall is closed, which is absolutely crucial for Jews. It's the one holy place that they have.
They're just trying to cover up the fact that they only care about shutting down the church, but for appearances, they're shutting down everything else.
What are you saying? That yes, it is unsafe. Still, people should be going there, even if they're hit by a rocket, by missiles.
You want it open. You want a bunch of kids. You want a bunch of kids and stuff gathered in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre during a war when Iran is firing everything they have at it. Is that a good idea to you? There is only one dog. Shut up about the typo. Oh. Get it? It's like saying there's only one God, but he makes a deliberate typo. You have to watch Amy. This is the last one. You have to watch Amy Kozak doing Brett Weinstein, who also became Kirk Truther and Tucker, and also doing Ryan podcast. Wait, is that the guy who does the impressions that we've seen before? Is that the same guy, or is that a different guy?
Amy Kozak. No, that's a different guy.
That's a different guy. Huh.
Yeah, he's funny.
Okay, AP. I think we're obviously done. We do not want to watch this, but just since I said we're going to do it, and I don't want to do it on any other day, we'll watch a few seconds of her just to see how annoying she sounds.
First rose to national prominence in 2009 as Miss California, when she courageously defended traditional marriage during the Miss USA pageant.
And I became popular on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
In 2025, President Trump appointed her to serve on the White House Religious Liberty Commission.
And then he found out she was a Catholic, so he said, "Get off of there, you're a Catholic."
What?
He skipped a lot of steps there, but let him finish.
Okay. Alongside Bishop Barrett and Cardinal Timothy Dolan.
Oh.
During the February commission hearing, she boldly defended free speech and religious liberty and spoke up for Catholics with a ferocity of zeal that rivals the greatest among us. She was subsequently unjustly removed from the commission for her stance defending religious liberty, not just for Catholics,
By whom?
But for all non-Jews.
By whom was she removed?
Not just for our group, but for all people who hate Jews everywhere.
It's kind of funny that he doesn't specify who actually removed her. Even Carrie Prejean herself admitted it. Who removed her? Say it. This organization tries to make it look like they're all for Donald Trump. Who removed her? She acknowledged that it was actually Donald Trump who had her removed. Say it. Say Donald Trump unjustly removed her because Donald Trump is a scumbag. Go on, say it. Come on.
People all face.
I'm going to say it.
Carrie is currently producing a film highlighting the personal stories of nurses who were terminated during the COVID-19 era for refusing the injection due to their religious beliefs. And best of all, Carrie entered the Catholic Church at Easter 2025 and remains steadfast in her mission to defend religious liberty for Americans. Let's welcome our first award, Carrie Prejean Boulder.
Wow.
Award? She's getting an award?
Oh my goodness.
People paid $1,200 to see Candace talk about herself and Carrie Prejean get an award for being the greatest Catholic in the world, apparently.
Wow. Thank you, John. Thank you so much.
If she starts talking about herself.
It's been a wild few weeks. I am truly honored to receive this award from Catholics for Catholics. I am so grateful to all of you, and especially John. Thank you, Catholics for Catholics, for being my champion.
Wait, what's the group? I forget. She's only said it 7 times in 10 seconds.
Knowing the story behind this award makes it even more meaningful. To be called a Catholic champion is not something I take lightly.
She's being called a Catholic champion?
While basically telling bishops that they're not good Catholics.
You know what this reminds me of? When Michael Jackson, he didn't understand the award that he was winning, and he got up there, and if anyone had told me that I was going to win the Artist of the Millennium Award, there was no Artist of the Millennium Award. Apparently someone had said that to him in a message or something like that, and he thought he was winning the Artist of the Millennium Award. And so he based his acceptance speech on receiving the Artist of the Millennium Award, and that was not what he was winning. But that's her receiving her award while being called the world's greatest champion of Catholicism.
Because I understand what that really means. It doesn't mean comfort, popularity, or applause. It means standing firm when it would be easier to stay silent, choosing truth even when it costs you something, and asking, what more can I do? First, I want to thank my mother.
I'm not going to listen.
Who is here tonight.
Oh, she's crying for her mom.
And my late father for always supporting me, for raising me with strong Christian values, and for standing by me through everything. To my husband and our 2 beautiful children.
So apparently this is just her thanking everyone for her award for being Catholic of the Year, according to Catholics for Catholics. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great stuff. All right, AP. I don't think I can listen to any more of that.
All right, so here are some clarifications and things that they left out and what she actually did. Well, that dork who is the CEO of this.
Wait! You're saying he didn't give the complete story about this woman?
Yeah.
Well, what the heck? I mean, people introduce you or me. They don't say like every dirtbag thing I've ever done. Come on.
What's his name again? Johnny Penny or something like that. So
when
he introduced her, he said that she was at the hearing defending Catholic beliefs. False, never happened. Standing up for Catholics and was unjustly removed for speaking out and so on. So everybody at the hearing basically agrees that what she did was to basically corrupt and hijack the entire hearing for her own political agenda. She needlessly when there was talk about Jews and anti-Semitism, she needlessly started attacking a Jewish speaker at the hearing by basically asking him on the spot to condemn the genocide in Gaza. Then when he wouldn't do it, and they started having an altercation about it, she basically started to take over, despite being reminded that this is not what this commission or this hearing is about. She started pushing and making it about that. Then she was. It was said to her that she seems to have a problem with anti-Zionism and with Jews in general, which she then deflected into the very regular, typical line of talking, which is that as a Catholic, she doesn't have to be a Zionist, she doesn't have to respect Israel, she doesn't have to support Israel, that she has the right to not bend the knee to the Zionists who are taking over and who are basically in charge. So she starts with conspiracy theories. She starts with taking over the entire discussion. She makes it look like right now that she was unnecessarily and needlessly attacked for her beliefs when she was the one who initiated the entire discussion, and she was the one who turned the entire Religious Liberty Commission hearing into a fierce discussion where she tries to condemn Israel and then make it look like she is the victim. Because of her hijacking of the discussion, she was called out left and right for it. She then once again went onto social media and started making it look like she is the victim and started saying that she was attacked because she is a Catholic for voicing her Catholic beliefs. None of what she says ever happened. She completely made that up. She created her own agenda, and even bishops themselves will say this. I sent you the link to the tweet, David, if you want to put it up, to see what the Catholic bishop himself actually says, who, by the way, is on the council. Remember, she tries to make it look like she's the Catholic and she was removed from the commission because they won't tolerate her Catholicism, because they want to oppress Catholic people. There are multiple people on the commission as we speak. One of them, by the way, is one of the most famous bishops in existence, and that is Bishop Barron himself, who here makes the post. He says, this is Bishop Robert Barron. He's very famous, very well known. Can you remove this stupid super chat from your screen?
What the heck, man? You don't even care about people. I'm the psychopath. What? What are you laughing at?
Over the past several weeks, Carrie Pre-Jean Bowler has complained that she was removed from the Presidential Commission on Religious Liberty because of her Catholic belief.
Shot Kohler. What? Sorry about that. Go ahead.
And she has called out myself and other Catholic members of the commission for not defending her. This is absurd. Mrs. Pre-Jean Bowler was not dismissed for her religious convictions, but rather for her behavior at a gathering of the commission last month, browbeating witnesses, aggressively asserting her point of view, hijacking the meeting for her own political purposes. The Catholic position on matters of Zionism, to which I fully subscribe, is as follows. All forms of anti-Semitism are to be unequivocally condemned. The State of Israel has a right to exist, but the modern nation of Israel does not represent the fulfillment of biblical prophecies, and hence does not stand beyond criticism. If Mrs. Pre-Jean Bowler were dismissed for holding these beliefs, it is difficult to understand why I am still a member of the Commission. To paint herself as a victim of anti-Catholic prejudice or to claim that her religious liberty has been denied is simply preposterous.
So what you're telling me is that this guy's getting paid by Netanyahu. Your Excellency, you shared with me through text message to me that my position reflects Catholic teaching, especially that the modern state of Israel is not the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. She's zeroed in on the part. That is the position I expressed, and yet I was removed. He thought, I have the same position, and I was not removed. What?
That's not what she expressed. And she was also removed a month after this whole hearing because she went onto Twitter and started basically buddying up with all the typical Jew haters, started using all the anti-Semitic language that are now famous, started referring to Jews collectively and calling them basically Zionists, lying about the whole ordeal, suggesting that America is controlled by Israel, all kinds of different things. I think she's the one who started referring. She also referred to herself as or as people as the goyim, basically making it about Jews, not about Israel at all. And this is just her final step, or her most recent act in her career of lies and of shamelessness and of narcissism. She has a whole history with it, a whole history. And the funniest thing about it is that it was Donald Trump himself who gave her a second chance and who put her on the commission, and she blew it and is now attacking Donald Trump, who gave her a second chance. Right, the first time it was in 2009. She was part of the Miss America 2009 show. She was a front runner or something like that. This is the only respectable based moment in her history. She was asked about gay marriage, to which she said that she personally holds and believes that marriage should be between a man and a woman. Whoa, very, very nice. For which she was criticized. Very, very respectable. Very cool. Very nice. Okay. Things got a little bit problematic. When things became controversial, I actually wrote everything down here. So she participated in Miss USA 2009, where she said she believes marriage is between a man and a woman, for which she faced backlash. So far, so good. Semi-nude photos of her emerged among this whole controversy. By the way, I said semi-nudes here when I wrote it down, but it's semi-nude and also nude. At the same time, while expressing her supposedly religious Christian beliefs, she was actually posing naked and half naked for different people in different photo shoots and commercializing her body. She took them willingly and posed for them. When all of this came up, she claimed that the photos were taken accidentally. I must say, as I was reading all her scandals, I unfortunately came across those photos. And they were by no means taken on by accident. They were taken very deliberately. Don't worry, I turned them off. But she argued when this became a problem, because it was a breach of her terms with Miss USA, when this became a problem, she lied about it and said that she didn't mean to take nude photos. I'm sorry, especially the women. If you see those photos, there is absolutely no way that any single reasonable person can actually believe that those photos were taken unintentionally. They were very clearly part of a paid campaign to take photos and to publicize them, right? But she lied because she then found out that she's going to get in trouble with her job for doing those photos. Multiple nude photo shoots emerged where she clearly posed topless for different people and sources. She maintained that these were unintended. The nude photos broke her contract with Miss USA, which is why she was falsely claiming that they were unintended. So she's a liar. She then tried to sue Miss USA, accusing them of breaching her privacy and not respecting her values because they went after public stuff, along with libel and slander. Miss USA countersued to get back loans that she took at the very same time from them for breast implants and other things. During the trial, a sex tape that she recorded and distributed at the age of 17 emerged.
Is that legal?
If she herself does it, I'm not sure what the legal consequences of it are. But when that came up during the trial, wait a minute, we have here a notice of you, or a recording of you, of a sex tape of you. Did you take this and distribute it? Would you like us to show it? Would you like the court to see it? You know what she did next? She dropped the lawsuit. Because it came out that while she is accusing Miss USA of not respecting her values, of breaching her privacy, of trying to make her look immoral, of trying to do all these things, that she actually willingly records a sex tape of herself and distributes it. And that this completely contradicts any claim that she's making against Miss USA. As soon as it came out and they threatened with showing it to the court, she immediately dropped the lawsuit. She still to this day maintains that she was just persecuted because she was such a good Christian, because of her values. By the way, you can't find the tape. It's actually it was never distributed to the public. It was only known in a certain circle of people.
Yeah, so quit looking for it right now, you perverts.
Yeah, don't look for it. For her repeated lies and breaches.
No, I will find it. What?
For her repeated lies and breaches, she was fired from Miss USA. At that time, guess who was in charge? Donald Trump was in charge. Donald Trump initially stood up for her because she had this based moment of defending values and because she was kind of good. But Donald Trump eventually said, okay, I'm done defending her, and agreed to firing her. Donald Trump actually had her fired at that time. She then went on to Larry King Live. Larry King rightly asked her on during the show why she settled her lawsuit with Miss USA if she is so on the right of things. She then walked off stage and was
Hold up, is that where she like pulled the thing out of her ear? And I remember seeing that in some news clip or something like this. They were saying and they were saying he just asked her a question and she flipped out.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't know what the question was about. I just remember her pulling the thing out of her ear and looking shocked. And I was like, "What did you think was going to come on when you're going? You're going on a show where a guy asks you lots of questions."
He basically asked the same question that many of us would ask, which is, "Wait, if you were being treated so unjustly and you were completely right, why did you drop the lawsuit when a certain sex tape came up?" And she was like, "I didn't expect this question," and she walked off stage. She later became politically active and supported Donald Trump. Last year, she converted to Catholicism, supposedly. Trump gave her a new chance and appointed her to the Religious Liberty Commission, and the rest you basically know. Also, by the way, what Donald Trump didn't know at this time is that she's also very well connected to some of the most notorious anti-Semitic people, and that she was also supported. And if until this point you are still for some reason supporting her, the first group that actually came to support her, which she thanked and posed with, was none other than the Muslim Brotherhood extension in America, CARE, which is the Muslim Brotherhood organization in America that is an arm of the Muslim Brotherhood to subvert countries and make them Islamic for the Muslim Brotherhood, for Islamic purposes. She is an ally of CARE, of the Muslim Brotherhood, proudly wearing the pro-Palestine symbols, having a Palestine flag on herself. She accuses all those who support Israel of having dual loyalties, of being Israel first. But the first thing she did was to go out there and post the Palestine flag, wearing a Palestine pin on her chest, and even putting the Palestine flag before the American flag on her posts. And so on. And finally, the last thing that she did after she saw that the Catholic bishops themselves will not stand up to her was to basically start debating against the Catholics and accusing the Catholics of not being true Catholics because she herself is a true Catholic. So she is a complete nut job, a narcissist, and a liar. That's it.
So you heard it here, folks. Carrie Prejean is a devout, extremely moral Catholic woman who's being persecuted because she converted to Catholicism, and now she is a champion of Catholicism. But time-traveling Jews went back in time to persecute her even before she converted to Catholicism.
Yes. You can fact check everything I just said. I already did.
Very, 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 very sad to see such persecution. Well, these are the type of people they claim the Jews are. Yeah, that's what it's like. Everything they say the Jews are, it's what they do. It's kind of funny. Catholics for Catholics sounds like bad parody. It does. It does sound weird, right? Like, no, Catholics should just be for Catholics. Like, on what planet? Like, where? Where are you getting that? Strong Christian values, but she did corn and node.
Very strong Christian values.
Extremely strong. Barron told Ben Shapiro in an interview.
She lies to it. She lies about it to this day. She still says, "Oh, I was just persecuted because of my religious beliefs." She lies about it all the time.
Barron told Ben Shapiro in an interview on David Wood, Ben did with him in 2018, about 1 hour, where Barron told Ben that State of Israel isn't the fulfillment. Barron who?
Bishop Barron, whom we just read a post of. And this is the regular Catholic position. The Catholic Church will hold that the State of Israel is not the fulfillment of the prophecies and all that, which is and nobody really has a problem with it.
We have, come on, dudes, respect women. Learn from Momed. We will. We'll try. You bash. Here we go. You've got the groiper alert. You bash fellow Christians whilst simping for a nation and religion that openly rejects and disrespects Christ. Cringe.
Yeah, we are the ones. We are the ones who bash fellow Christians, right?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing when someone lies and then we say, hey, stop lying, that's a lie. And they go, oh my goodness, you're bashing fellow Christians. Why? If you're a Christian and when one of your Christian brothers lies, you're supposed to support it and lie with him. That's the message of Christianity. What a dork, man.
Hey, why are you bashing fellow Christians here in the Super Chat?
I can't believe you're bashing me. But AP, the Muslim Brotherhood, was a fan of her tape. And Larry King was just asking questions. Yeah, what's her problem with asking questions? Huh. All right, guys. Final thoughts, AP. Last thoughts. Anything you want to say, AP?
I urge people not to lie. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, and I would agree. Oh, good.
I also want to add one more time that in no way do I or David think that Candace Owens is in any way a representation of the Catholic community. Especially David thinks that. And
she's the new pope, but yeah.
And Candace Owens, and the Catholics are better than Candace Owens and stuff. So
yeah, I'll just agree. Don't lie, everyone. And if you do lie, don't whine like babies when someone calls you on your lie. Understand? That's the rule. Just when you think it can't get more stupid than Junior, the groper should step up. That's true, Jack Ray. All right, guys. I might jump on just because there's a video that people told me about. I might just jump on by myself tomorrow and watch that real quick in the afternoon or something. Someone who's apparently blasting me, a Christian. We might have to check it out. Anyway, catch y'all tomorrow. In some way. I'll either post a video. I'll either post a video or go live or both. One or the other.
God bless y'all.
Yep. Oh, hang on. People posted another super chat. Hang on. I could have closed it, but I didn't. Here we go. I'm just wondering if someone, how dare you support Israel? You need to stop bashing fellow Christians. Have you ever read the Talmud? Jews are bad. Here's some money. You gotta love it. You idiot. Why are you bashing everyone? Here's $5. I'm dealing with refuting the argument of Jews where the Bolsheviks, the argument of Jews were the Bolsheviks during the revolution. Any suggestions of sources to refute? We're heading out.
You could just open any history book, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. All right, guys. Yeah,
no, I think I wrote something about that recently myself. I gotta look that up, but in all honesty, I'm not sure if I added the sources or if I was just gathering the sources and just made a minor tweet about it. But if you check my Twitter account and search for Bolsheviks, I think you should find something about that. But I was preparing something on that anyway.
And Dennis Prager has some good commentaries on the stuff. He points out that anything that involved like education, he said you had Jews on every side of every issue. And so no matter what issue you hate, you can always point, look, you see, Jews.
I mean, the fact is that the majority of the Bolsheviks were atheists of Christian backgrounds. And
oh, yeah? What about Stalin?
Jews, also Christian background. Atheists of Jewish background were disproportionately high compared to the population of Jews in the Soviet in Russia, which is understandable because just in the decades preceding that, up to that, there were massive pogroms, massive mass killings of Jews. Which is why Jews, or those Jews who were not religious, flocked to certain movements of activism. So there was a relatively high number of atheists who were of Jewish origin within the Bolshevik movement, but also within other socialist movements. The funny thing is, if you want to count those, why don't you also count the atheists of Christian background, which were much higher in number, and among the average Bolsheviks were the overwhelming majority? Why do you do that with Jews?
Because they're Jews. What the heck? Do you not know the rules here?
That's funny.
Have you not learned the rules? All right. All right, everyone. Catch y'all later. More Super Chats for longer stream. Nope, it's too late because, haha, I'm clicking off. See y'all next time.
See y'all.
Based.